Headed on by McInally. McKimmie completes the clearance. There's Davy Dodds. Now Bet. All right is there first. Well, it's treacherous also for forwards. Very White bringing the ball clear. That's a good pass inside to McLeod. He has McLeod free on the left. This is promising for Celtic. Here's McLeod. And the offside flag is up on the far side. I wonder if that was Maura McLeod or perhaps one of the strikers, Brian McClare or Mo Johnston.
I think Maurice Johnson just strayed into an offside position in the drop, but a good and interesting move from Celtic, and it shows the power of Murdo McLeod because he loves busting into those open spaces, and he's got a knack for scoring as well. But a good move from Celtic. They seem to have settled a bit better.
Yes, they've certainly taken heart from that marvellous early save from Pat Bonner. So these nervous opening stages, crucial of course for both sides. Here's David Robertson. That's too far ahead of David Dodds. It goes behind for the goal kick. Well, David Dodds has shrugged off the injury which curtailed his training activities through the week. A very important target man up front for Aberdeen. McLeish's header. There's Roy Aitken. Headed away by McLeish. McKimmie under pressure from Brian McClare. McLeish to McKimmie. Sending it forward. Tempted, I think, to give it to William Miller at one point, but he was inside his own box. Wright plays it forward. Here's Joe Miller. Connor racing into the box. Danny McGrain had come inside. That's a careless one though. Wright plays it wide for Dodds, and he is offside. Well, I think we can take it David Dodds doesn't agree, but that will make no difference at all to referee George Smith or the linesman. Temptation, Billy, must be, I suppose, for defences to send long balls forward and play it safe.
Well, it's not a day for taking chances, Jock, is it? Because one little slip's going to cause all sorts of problems. I think, obviously, what you've got to try to get the ball into the front players and for them to keep possession.
Here's Johnston doing just that for Celtic. Fuller thumping it forward, but Paul Wright had come deep. So two teenagers joining David Dodds in attack for Aberdeen, Paul Wright and Joe Miller, still only 19 years old. Grant plays it back to McKimmie. Rogan missed out. And Derek White judged that well. He took a knock as he played the ball away from Joe Miller. Well, this could be worrying for Celtic. Derek White has become a fixture in that defence, and they'll be very keen to keep him involved. It appeared to be an accidental clash after he played the ball away with Joe Miller. So some work for the Celtic physio Brian Scott. Referee Smith immediately allowing the trainer to come on in these hazardous conditions. So Derek White, there's the background information on the young defender. Amazing number of appearances for one so young. Another recruit from Celtic Boys Club who have served the Celtic club so well over the years. Peter Grant, Roy Aitken, Tony Shepherd and Paul McStay out of this afternoon's 13 players, all coming through the ranks. Here's Grant. Well, Peter Grant eventually got a touch, but you could see how he was slipping and sliding as the ball came towards him. Alec McLeish has gone into the box for Aberdeen for this long throw from David Robertson. But it's gone towards Paul Wright and Joe Miller. Johnston's head flick. Here's McStay. Now McClare. Aberdeen now getting players back in numbers, and the long ball forward catches Alan McInally fully 5 yards offside. So McInally trying extremely hard this season to get a permanent spot on the side up front. Certainly on form, can produce some electrifying runs. Aiken's header. McLeod beats Grant, and here's Paul McStay. Celtic hoping for a great deal from McStay in a creative sense in the middle of the field. And two Scotland men together. Jim Bett, number 8 for Aberdeen, directly opposed to number 8, Paul McStay for Celtic. International squad colleagues. Here's Danny McGrain. The back heeler from Grant runs straight to Robertson. And once again, Wright finding it difficult to keep his footing. Here's Brian McClare. Well read by Miller. Willie Miller stepping in, turning it away. Well, he's playing this afternoon, Willie Miller, but it'll be interesting to see how he lasts out the full match. He is a man who Aberdeen were anxious to have in the ranks for the match. There's the header! And it's Alan McInally! Celtic have taken the lead in the most dramatic fashion. 14th minute of the match. Alan McInally with that header bulleted in off the underside of the bar, and the Celtic beachend erupts. You see Leighton stumbling as the ball was in the air. He couldn't get his footing quickly enough, but in any event, I doubt if he'd have reached that header from Alan McInally.
No, there's no doubt about that, Jock. It was a very, very good header. He kept his feet, he kept his timing right, and he got a good header in, because it wasn't an easy ball to take.
So that classical header from Alan McInally gives Celtic the vital opening goal. So 14 minutes exactly, there's the scoreline. Celtic in front by 1-0. And that really was a header which Alan McInally will remember with relish, I've no doubt at all. Grant thumping it forward. And Eric McLeish left alone to turn it back to Jim Leighton. Well, Jim Leighton certainly stumbled and went his full length on the goal line as the cross was in mid-air. But nevertheless, such was the power and accuracy of the header. I doubt if it had made any difference to it. Here's Brian Grant taking advantage of that slip from Paul McStay. So there's Murdo McLeod. Two men offside, Mo Johnston and Alan McInally. As the ball came forward, the Aberdeen defence pushing forward. Alan McInally's 13th goal of the season, and he hasn't been in the side regularly, so that's a good scoring rate for his appearances. McLeish with a free kick. Aiken's header, there's Jim Bett. Connor nodding it inside. A handball by Anton Rogan. Well, he's arguing it, struck him in the chest. It did appear to catch him in the upper part of that right arm, but perhaps a victim again of an awkward bounce. A bit unfortunate for the young defender. But an excellent opportunity now for Aberdeen. They don't have the prowess of Peter Weir available for these set pieces this afternoon. He's out through injury, but they have Jim Bett and Robert Connor. Bett flighting it in, there's McLeish. He did well to reach it, but he couldn't time it properly. So Alec McLeish very anxious to get Aberdeen back in level terms as early as possible. Doing well to find space as he came in, but didn't get above the header to knock it down. Grant and Connor together, now McStay and Bett. And it's Brian Grant who lofts it forward. Good ball from Wright to Connor. David Odds goes in. And the corner kick is given. Roy Aiken protests and he didn't get a touch. David Odds so good in that situation, making runs at the near post. Aberdeen have the corner. Joe Miller takes the in-swinger to the near post area, and that's good goalkeeping again from Pat Bonner. So Bonner waves his colleagues way upfield and launches a long ball towards McInally. That's for Grant, a good position again for Celtic on the right. Brian McClare is there with Stuart McKimmie. And Willie Miller pumps it high in the air. And that came off the head of Paul Wright. Well, that really is fortune for Aberdeen. Clearly the angle wasn't the same for the referee or the linesman. That seemed to come off the head of Paul Wright, all right, but the throw goes to Aberdeen, and there's David Odds. Now Wright. The interception by McStay. Well, that's good play from McLeish. Very sure-footed for one so tall on the surface. Now Connor. Robertson breaks on the left. Now Bet. Looking for Wright, but it was cut off by Paul McStay. Paul Wright's looked very lively indeed up front for Aberdeen in the early stages. Cleared by White. McLeish now to Miller. Now Robertson. David Odds followed by Roy Aitken. Now Connor. Going inside McGrain. McLeod is there in defence for Celtic. Robertson takes it from Johnston. Here's Connor. Now Brian Grant, a shooting chance. Good effort from Grant. He saw the opportunity early, set it up for the shot, but couldn't keep it on target. So Brian Grant only had one thought in his mind when he received that ball inside, but no problems in the end for Pat Bonner.
That opening goal has settled Celtic quite a bit, Jock. They don't have to chase the game anymore. It's really up to Aberdeen to get themselves back into it. And to be fair, they're playing some nice football in the middle of the field without really getting any finishing touches up front.
Celtic coming forward again. Here's McInally. Well, certainly no complaints about the intention, I'm sure, among the Celtic players and management on that occasion. But the shot in the end, well wide of target, and the goal kick taken short this time by Leighton. Aberdeen, I fancy though, Billy, will be looking for a little bit more perhaps from Jim Vett and Robert Connor in midfield in particular.
Well, that's right, because obviously they've got to get control of the ball there, Joe. They've got to try and set up chances for these lads up front. The two young lads up front look very lively indeed for them, and with a good bit of service they could create problems for Celtic.
An ambitious one from David Odds, cleared upfield towards Johnston. This is McInally. Gets support immediately from Murdo McLeod, and Danny McGrain appears on the right, calling for the ball. Grant waits for McStay to make the run. He's away from Robertson. But again, he found it impossible to set himself to send over the cross. Paul McStay. That's good control from Wright. McLeish popping up on the right. Good play from Aberdeen, and Paul Wright again making a good position for the pass. The cross comes in, there's Bobby Connor! No wonder Robert Connor holds his head. What an opportunity this was. Paul Wright's cross was deflected right into the path of Connor in point-blank range, and he almost missed the ball completely. Well, what a chance that was, and how Aberdeen may live to regret it.
Well, it was a real let-off for Celtic, Jock, because a very good move from the back, started from Alex McLeish. Good ball out to Paul Wright, lovely ball into middle, and what an open goal he missed there.
So still 1-0 to Celtic if you just joined us. 14th minute goal from Alan McInally. And here's Paul McStay breaking free again on the right for Celtic. Miller at full stretch. Mo Johnston is on the ground just inside the Aberdeen half. He took a knock in that last move. The referee waving play on. Johnston is still out of the game. It's with Joe Miller. Threading that in for McKimmie. And once again, the slanted ball didn't run kindly for Aberdeen. A shooting chance for McKimmie, which he couldn't quite take. And Mo Johnston is now about to get treatment. Right inside the Aberdeen half. So there's Johnston getting attention to that area around the right knee from Celtic physio Brian Scott. But there are signs, Billy, that Paul McStay is asserting himself a bit in midfield.
Well, Celtic have got it going for themselves now, Joe. The goal settled them, and when you've got a player as talented as Paul McStay, he gets a chance to use the ball, as he will do today. He'll use it well, and he'll keep Celtic provided with a whole lot of good passes. Interesting thing that both teams are really playing very similar and spreading the three front players. And at the moment, those front players are getting a fair bit of the ball.
So Mo Johnston is back, involved in the action. Mark McGee started to warm up for Celtic as Johnston was getting treatment. Back in his old stomping ground, of course. And now the throw on the far side will be taken by Peter Grant when he goes back far enough for the liking of referee Smith. Played forward by Robertson. Aiken wins it from Dodds. Willie Miller very calmly judging that to send it to his goalkeeper, Jim Leighton. An anxious afternoon for defenders, there's no doubt about that. Headed out by Grant for Celtic. Robertson's throw, won by McGrain. He didn't catch it properly though. Here's Davy Dodds. And he gave Paul Wright no chance at all of reaching that pass. And Paul Wright has scored 4 times in the first team this season. Youth international. Very cooked from the Aberdeen youth policy. Misjudged by both Grant and Connor. Here's McClare. McLeish going in firmly and to Paul McStay. Ball is carried over for the Celtic throw. So Grant again will have to come several yards back. Robertson to Dodds. Willie Miller using Jim Leighton again. I think in this afternoon's conditions, Jim Leighton will be anxious to get the ball inside the Celtic half. It's a long ball from the kick out. Well won by Rogan, a positive header forward. McInally hoping that Murdo McLeod was on his outside. Right to Grant. Murdo McLeod steps in for Celtic. Grant's header, there's Brian McClare. McGrain lofting it through the middle. McLeish winning that comfortably, but the header wasn't accurate enough. Nor was that clearance. Here's Murdo McLeod. Ryan Grant keeping his feet to win possession. So it's back now with McKimmie and Jim Leighton again taking the pass back. So the scoreline showing Celtic still with the advantage thanks to Alan McInally's header in the 14th minute of the match. The header through by Connor to Dodds. Good cover again from Rogan for Celtic. And this is Grant. Celtic getting plenty of men forward. One of them was Alan McInally. The back keeler didn't come off. So the singing now coming from the beach end. The Celtic fans certainly enjoying the match so far. We've watched one magnificent save from Pat Bonner, and of course the opening goal from Alan McInally. Here's Alec McLeish though, now coming forward for Aberdeen. Powerful play from McLeish. Here's Joe Miller. A deep cross, here comes Connor. Now Wright. Davy Dodds nodding it back towards Paul Wright. The clearance from Rogan. And McKimmy's header spins away from him. Here's Johnston. He appears to have recovered fully from that knock he took on the right knee earlier in the match. Good control again from Wright, and a fine pass to Robertson in space on the left. It's towards Connor, but well, Danny McGrain's been in that situation many, many times. Now in his 20th year at Celtic Park. The referee, George Smith, being very fussy about the positions from which the throws must be taken. And the free kick is given against Davy Dodds for backing into Roy Aitken. And not any significant protest from Davy Dodds. He was clearly making a back for Roy Aitken. So some good refereeing by George Smith on that occasion. Defenders often very upset by the number of decisions given against them in these situations. Billy, you've been there often, I think.
Once or twice, Jock, yes. I think both sets of players have adapted quite nicely to condition. They're paying each other a lot of respect, Jock. They know it's difficult and they're not entering anything that's going to cause the referee a lot of problems.
They'll bounce the ball, carrying it through to McStay. That's a careless one. Brian Grant picks it up. And Derek White read that situation very early indeed. That was superb defending by the youngster. He across the bows of Joe Miller. Good pass from Wright. There's Grant angling the ball in. Roy Aitken did well. It was intended for Connor. Willie Miller's header. So we're on the half-hour mark now. Still Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1. And a fine match developing. A credit to both sides in view of the very tricky surface. And happily, no nastiness at all in evidence. Here's Paul Wright. Roy Aitken took up good position to block the cross. Aberdeen have the throw. Aitken now organising his defence. And Wright stopped by White. But this time the young centre-half had to concede the corner kick. Here's Connor again with the in-swinger, the left-footed corner. Hooked away by McClear. McKimmie returns it. And referee George Smith overrules the linesman and gives offside. Well, he certainly took up position, the referee, to judge the offside position, but the linesman on the near side was waving play on as referee Smith gave the decision. Dangerous play by Bett, lifting his boot as McStay ducked with a header. Certainly no malice, I'm sure. And off the ball, an Aberdeen player is on the ground. Now what happened here? It looks like David Robertson who's on the ground, and Alec McLeish is having words with Alan McInally for Celtic. Brian McClear pushing McInally away. Well, I certainly saw nothing amiss off the ball. Jim Leighton is now speaking to the referee. And Alan McInally is being sensibly restrained by Brian McClear. So referee Smith waving Jim Leighton back. Perhaps Leighton saw something no one else did. But now the linesman is coming across to have a word with the referee. The linesman is Bill Miller from Dundee. A shake of the head indicates, I think, that he saw nothing. Well, I certainly saw no incident there at all, Billy. Did you see anything untoward?
No, I didn't, Jock. Certainly was on the ground before the free kick was taken because the Aberdeen players were trying to attract the referee's attention. But he was on the ground for some considerable time.
And here's trouble for Jim Leighton. Well, Jim Leighton was certainly walking a tightrope with the referee with his protests about the incident involving Robertson. And now he's obviously said just a little bit too much. So he is the first player in the match to be booked. Well, that's not at all common for goalkeepers to be booked, but Jim Leighton certainly was vociferous as he made his point to the referee, and the yellow card is his reward. Good header again by Rogan. Moving well onto the pass from Johnston. Here's Martin McLeod. Rogan again, nudging the ball inside. Foul given against Jim Bett. Well, that did appear to be quite a soft decision. Rogan played the ball across into midfield. Jim Bett clearly looks aggrieved. So Celtic with a free kick. Paul McStay looking for Martin McLeod. Well, how Celtic would have relished an accurate, powerful drive in customary Martin McLeod fashion. A goal kick to Aberdeen, but Celtic certainly appear to be comfortable in the lead for the moment, Billy.
Yes, they certainly are, Jock. They've got everything going for them just at the moment. They know they don't have to take any particular chances, and they keep the ball moving forward, and they're creating problems for Aberdeen.
McKimmie. Well, the free kick is given against Rogan. I don't know how much you know about Anton Rogan, Billy, but he certainly looks very comfortable on the ball.
Yes, my opening impression of him is favourable, Jock. He's good in the air, he's timed the ball well in the air, and he's standing up well in difficult conditions.
Beaten that time by Joe Miller, though. Lots of good defenders have been deceived by the craft of Joe Miller. Well, that's good play from Robertson. Header cleared by McGrain. Grant plays it into space, but Willie Miller is first there for Aberdeen. And David Robertson goes his full length, he tries to turn quickly. McGrain and Connor together, and the decision is a free kick to Celtic. Connor was the man penalised. He obviously felt that McGrain was holding him off unfairly. The referee clearly adjudged that the ball was always within playing distance of Danny McGrain, and he was therefore entitled to screen it from his opponent. Still looks unruffled and calm in his customary position for Celtic. So McClare now with the throw for Celtic. Turned away by Willie Miller. Kept it in well for Wright. Too high for Connor. Well, Grant did well as he was losing his balance. And he was very strong on that challenge with Connor. Here's Paul McStay. Down he goes, and that is a penalty kick. David Robertson was the culprit. Paul McStay driving into the box. Let's check this once again. McLeish was chasing, but you'll see Robertson coming across. McStay nudging the ball forward and caught quite clearly there by the young fullback. Perhaps a glimpse of inexperience, but the penalty kick has been awarded to Celtic.
Yeah, there's no doubt about a penalty kick, Jock. It was a good driving run from Paul McStay, right into the heart of Aberdeen's defence, and really put the young lad in a position where he had no option but to pull him down. Definite penalty, no doubt about it at all. So penalty kick, and to Aberdeen's credit, very little complaint from them. Some attention there for Paul McStay. He appears to have recovered, and the penalty kick will be taken by Ryan McClare. Now his record is not impeccable. He's scored 3 out of 6 this season, and he's missed one already here at Pittodrie in the league back in November. He also scored one in that match. So Brian McClare against Jim Leighton. No doubt about that. Confidently placed in the corner.
and Celtic go 2 ahead. So Brian McClair calmly converting the penalty kick, and that remarkably is his 27th goal of the season. What a valuable player he's been to Celtic this season.
Magnificent record. Took the penalty very, very well, Jock. Interesting to hear you say he'd missed one here before this season, but he took that one, kept his composure and put it away, and he's got a tremendous goal scoring record, really has.
So 7 minutes left in the first half. Celtic go 2 ahead, and what an uphill struggle now faces Aberdeen. There's Mo Johnston back helping in defence. Clearance picked up by McKimmie. Here's Eric McLeish. The header by Wright. There's Danny McGrain. Robertson this time cutting it out for the throw. Well, young David Robertson will clearly be feeling very upset indeed about that tackle which gave Celtic the penalty kick. But he certainly, as Billy McNeil said, found himself in a very difficult situation with McStay committing the Aberdeen defence with that surging run. There's McLeod. Betts header. McInally wide for Rogan. Half blocked by Miller. Here's Brian McClair. McKimmie playing it forward. Roy Aitken going across, just nodding it safely into touch, away from Davy Dodds. Good early throw though, finding Wright. And Danny McGrain coming across behind the central defence to cover. Good experienced defending by the former Scotland hero. The throw to Aberdeen. Here's Joe Miller. Now McKimmie. Clearance finds Johnston. David Robertson touching it back to Leighton. So a 2-goal cushion for Celtic, and I wonder about the thoughts going through the head of Robert Connor following his dreadful miss a short time ago for Aberdeen. So instead of being on level terms, they're 2 behind. And Ian Porterfield, the Aberdeen manager, sensing now the possibility of a new experience as Aberdeen boss. He's never lost in 13 matches so far. Here's McClair. Oh, that's delightful play from McClair. The cross though falls straight to Worry Miller. McGrain's header, and McClair was well offside. The linesman signalling for the offside decision. The referee raised play on. And that ball driven across towards McInally. The Aberdeen players incensed about the fact that an offside decision wasn't given, and clearly the referee decided that Brian McClair was recovering from that earlier move and was not seeking to gain an advantage.
Well, there's the old adage as well, Jock, is it? You play to the whistle. You're a professional player, you play to the whistle. You don't anticipate decisions going your way.
So David Dodds penalised again as he challenges for a high ball, and that little show of dissent results in a word from referee Smith. So Dodds gets a word of warning. Aiken's free kick. Vicious header. Back now to Rogan. The ball had just edged over the line. And Rogan will be in trouble for the reaction to the challenge from Joe Miller. It's a throw which has been given, but the referee will have a word with these 2 young players. Just getting a shade heated as they challenged on the touchline. So there's McKimmie now with the throw. Joe Miller. Roddy McLeod sends it forward, but it's out for the throw. 3 minutes of the first half left. Celtic leading by 2-0. And how Aberdeen would welcome a goal before the interval to set them up for a fight in the second half. Here's Brian Grant. David Robertson again taking up good position on the left. But Celtic have possession again. Grant loses it to Wright. That was intended for Connor. trying to find some space away from Grant. And the free kick's been given against Peter Grant for obstruction, as Connor played it through the young Celtic midfield player's legs. The referee right on the spot gives Aberdeen a free kick in a very promising position. Taken by Connor. Up goes McLeish. And once again it's Pat Bonner to the rescue of Celtic. Alec McLeish just cannot believe it. Now look at this again. The out-swinging cross. Powerful header, beaten out by Bonner. Now that was a miraculous save.
Magnificent save, Jockey. He's done very well. One at the start of the half, one now at the end of it. Very, very important saves.
Still trouble for Celtic. Cleared off the line by McStay. Paul Wright it was with a shot on target. So Aberdeen now making a big push before the half-time whistle to get a goal back. So 90 seconds left on the clock in the first half, plus any time added on for stoppages. There have been a couple for injuries. And that's a Celtic throw. Despite the protest of Stuart McKimmie. Will have to be taken a bit further back than that though, I think. Here's Grant. Played forward by McLeod to McClair. Here's Robertson. So the long ball forward from Leighton. Headed out by White. There's Paul McStay. Well, almost half-time. 2-goal lead for Celtic. Billy, what are your reflections in that first half so far?
Well, I think, you know, obviously we're fortunate, I felt, just a little bit to be in front. But since we went in front, Joe, I feel Aberdeen's composure has been interrupted quite dramatically, and Celtic have settled comfortably into the lead.
So Rogan using his pace to go back and turn that out for the throw. All right, stopped by Derek White. McLeish playing it wide. Taken away by Grant. A rare tussle, these two, Grant and Connor on the far side of the field. Here's Jim Bett. Well, that was down to the ground conditions, I'm sure. Danny McGrain is penalised, but certainly an unfortunate foul. No doubt at all that his footing was dubious as he went into that challenge. But time fast running out for Aberdeen in the first half. Here's McLeish back in the box as Connor sends it across. Up goes McLeish again, touching it down. Aberdeen trying to control the ball. It was bouncing awkwardly off the very hard surface. McKimmie took a face knock from McClair. McKimmie's in a lot of trouble on the ground on the halfway line. Well, an accident again, I'm sure, but as McKimmie cleared the ball, he took a face knock from McClair. And referee George Smith sensibly halting play to allow treatment for the Aberdeen fullback. Davy Wiley, the Aberdeen physio, is on. So there's Stuart McKimmie's credentials. £90,000 he cost from Aberdeen in 1983. A regular man in the Aberdeen ranks and just on the fringe now of international honours. So Aberdeen were very anxious to get him back into the fray. So we're into time added on for stoppages now in this incredible first half at Pittodrie. So McKimmie appears to be all right. The game will restart with a throw. No, indeed, referee George Smith is indicating he wants to start with a dropped ball. So McLeod and Grant will have to let the ball hit the deck first. Turned out by McInally in the end, so it's an Aberdeen throw. Referee Smith checking his watch as half-time approaches. Celtic will be very happy to go in with this 2-goal lead. And Aberdeen, of course, will have hard thinking to do. There goes the half-time whistle. Celtic with a 2-goal lead and a huge debt owed to their goalkeeper, Pat Bonner. Bonner with a marvellous save early in the match and then a stupendous effort just on the half-time whistle. But goals from Alan McInally in the 14th minute and then the penalty kick from Brian McClair just before half-time leave the half-time score here at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 0.
So there we are, 2-0 to Celtic. The second half started back to Jock Brown and Billy McNeil.
Thanks, Ian. Yes, the second half is just underway now, and Aberdeen, of course, with everything to do in the second period, and they've made a substitution. They've brought on John Hewitt. He's wearing number 14, and he has replaced, it appears to be one of the midfield players has gone off. It's Brian Grant who's been replaced, so that means a reorganisation of the Aberdeen ranks, and clearly that's an adventurous policy they've taken on. Clearly there's no point in them sitting back now. They've got to get 2 goals to remain in the cup, and they hope that John Hewitt, the cup tie specialist, may help. Now there's a bad head clash though. That looks serious. Joe Miller is one of the players involved, and the Celtic player, is it Peter Grant? It looks as though it may be. So Grant is on the ground, so is Joe Miller, and that looks serious, particularly I think for the Aberdeen player. Grant appears to be a little bit better than the young Aberdeen striker. So let's hope that both players are fit to resume. So the incident which brought that about is coming up now. There we go, the ball breaking high in the air. Joe Miller going up, and Peter Grant coming in with a head challenge and going straight into Joe Miller. So both players looking distinctly groggy. Peter Grant is on his feet. Joe Miller also has got to his feet, but Grant's clearly in a lot of pain. So there's the statistics for Peter Grant, captain of Scottish Youths, of course, and a very important player for Celtic now. He's had the yellow card shown because the referee deems that the challenge was a dangerous one. Joe Miller has recovered also, and he's in his usual position, back in the Aberdeen attack. Eking up with Dodds once again. There's Paul McStay hooking the ball forward. The only man up for Celtic is Mo Johnston. Good play from Willie Miller. Here's Robertson. Dodds trying to find Miller. And John Hewitt is offside. Well, Billy, it looks as though Aberdeen have committed 4 men up front, although Davy Dodds may drop back into midfield. But what do you think may be the result of that alteration at half-time?
Well, the thing is, they've no option but to go forward, Joe. They're 2 behind, they're out the cup at this particular moment. They've got to get themselves back into it. It would worry me a little bit because they're obviously going to surrender a little bit of midfield territory to Paul McStay, who's had a very good game and will obviously welcome the extra room.
There's good defending again by Willie Miller, reading that pass and cutting across, and Miller was caught very awkwardly by Murdo MacLeod. Now that, for my money, was a complete accident, despite the howls of some of the Aberdeen fans, because Murdo MacLeod appeared to lose his footing completely as he tried to stop after Miller played the ball away. And Willie Miller, to his great credit, is indicating to the referee that he too considered the thing to be an accident and no bad tackle, so a bit of sportsmanship and evidence. Appear to strike the arm of Roy Aitken. The referee allows play to go on. Miller goes up well with Johnston. Paul Wright's layoff. Here's Jim Bett. Miller taking on Rogan. Well, the young fullbacks had a good match so far for Celtic. Bett has found space inside. Lots of Aberdeen players in the box. One of them is Connor, another is Hewitt. For Joe Miller, and headed away by Rogan for the corner kick, and the Aberdeen players looking for a penalty kick for the challenge by Rogan. Well, they certainly went up above Joe Miller, coming from the wrong angle for the defender. Here was Hewitt. Now watch this delicate chip across the face of the goal. Joe Miller coming in on it, and Rogan appeared to head the ball cleanly behind for the corner. Hewitt plays it in. There's another chance to send the ball across goal. Danny McGrain blocks the cross. This time it's Roy Aitken. Everyone inside the Celtic half. Hewitt once again. Brought down by McGrain, and there will be a booking, I think, for Danny McGrain. Well, here was John Hewitt. Now you see him coming inside his man, good going on to his left foot, stepping inside. A rash late challenge from McGrain. Down goes Hewitt, and a yellow card for the veteran Celtic defender. protest, I think, from McGrain that was his first foul of the match. 62 Scottish caps, and look at those club appearances, 647, and still going strong. So the free kick will be taken by Jim Bett. Cleash and Miller are both in the box. Up goes Willie Miller. The last touch was by Miller, and that's why McClair let the ball run. So a Celtic throw. And a bit of time wasting, I think, by Brian McClair. Certainly the Aberdeen players are not happy about that, inviting referee Smith to check his watch. White's clearance. Kimmy and McInally together. It's remarkable that we haven't seen a great deal of Alan McInally, that superb opening goal apart, but here he is again. Now Willie Miller. Derek White recovers quickly. Clearance is picked up though by Jim Bett. Here's McKimmie. And Aiken has been in front of Dodds throughout the match this afternoon. He's been the clear winner of their particular battle this afternoon, so far at least. Here's Joe Miller. Playing the ball across and winning the corner kick off Derek White. So Aberdeen certainly making a big push to get back into the match. The goal in this opening phase of the second half, of course, could transform the proceedings here at Pittodrie. There's Willie Miller. McGrain's underneath it. Bett going across. Here's Joe Miller. Using Bett as the decoy. Sliding it in. Paul Wright beaten to the ball by Aiken. Now Bett. And Bonner comes to claim it once again for Celtic. Full of confidence, of course, after these saves in the first half. Two in particular, quite outstanding. There's Grant, lofting it forward. The spin will carry the ball out for an Aberdeen throw. The Celtic have withdrawn Brian McClair a little in the second half, just to settle on the lead. He's gone back to augment the midfield. Here's Joe Miller again. Now Wright. Screening the ball well, making good position. Fine play from the youngster. Here's Jim Bett. Well, he never appeared to have his balance completely to get a powerful shot on target. So a good enough start to the second half, I think, Billy. From the Celtic point of view, at least, they're settling well in the lead.
Well, that's right. They're comfortable in the conditions, Jock. Aberdeen just look as though they're just a little touch of desperation about their play just now. I know it's difficult for them, but for them, they've got to continually try to keep the ball and make good passes that'll cause problems for the Celtic defence. But at the moment, they look as though they're just a touch of desperation about them. So McLeish's clearance concedes the throw to Celtic on the near side, the Celtic right, and it's Peter Grant. Stay wasn't picked up by any midfield player for Aberdeen. They certainly have decided to live a little bit dangerously in that regard, bringing on John Hewitt for Brian Grant. Here's McClair, now Grant. Down goes Peter Grant as Willie Miller works the ball free for Aberdeen. Now it's Hewitt. Plenty of men forward again for Aberdeen. Robertson on the overlap. Lost some of the momentum of the attack, and he's fouled by Aiken. A rueful smile from the Celtic captain as the referee gives the free kick to Aberdeen. David Robertson showing his confidence in the ball, taking on Aiken on the outside. There's the free kick taken by Hewitt. Gordon McLeod's header. This is McKimmie making for the byline. An awkward ball, it's bent out and back in play. So the goal kick has been given. So there's the main stand here at Pittodrie, behind Pat Bonner. It really is a superb setting for a match when the stadium is filled to capacity, as it is this afternoon.
The sun has now disappeared as darkness approaches. 10 minutes now into the second half. Celtic leading by 2 goals to 0. Clearance from White. Miller being put under pressure by Johnston. And Johnston did well, forcing the hurried clearance from Willie Miller and keeping Celtic on the attack on the far side. Here's Bet for Aberdeen. Well, that picture tells the story. Joe Miller going flat out there as he tried to stop quickly. Now Martin McLeod. The ball got a deflection. That's why Leighton's scrambling so quickly across his line. It would have been a corner kick. Hewitt playing it forward. There's Roy Aiken. Willie Miller. A push by Grant on Connor. Peter Grant already been booked, remember? A clash with Joe Miller, which resulted in both players needing some treatment. There's David Robertson. Now Hewitt. Good play from Hewitt. Used the hand going forward. The referee allows the advantage as Celtic get the ball away. And the loose ball is picked up in midfield by Martin McLeod. McStay's finding gaps now in the midfield for Celtic. Shot blocked by Miller. Grant leaves it to McLeod. Jim Bed is penalised for the challenge on Martin McLeod. So Celtic have the free kick. So Roy Aiken will take it. Jim Leighton crouched on the line. Aiken flighting it in. There's David Robertson. McLeod nodding it back into the box. Paul McStay's header to McInally. Here's McGrain. That's towards Johnston. Headed down by McKimmie, only as far as Grant. And once again that was well read by Willie Miller. Free kick's been given to Aberdeen for the foul by Grant. But judgment here from Willie Miller is excellent. Just hanging back so that he could take the ball across the front of Peter Grant. The body check gives the free kick to Aberdeen. Martin McLeod laid back off Joe Miller to collect the head flick. Here's McClare. Now McStay. Celtic playing it simply and sensibly. McStay running well from midfield. That pass was beyond him, swept away by Robertson. And Robertson is penalised for handball. Again, the awkward bounce inducing that error from the fullback. So Celtic again have the chance to put pressure on the Aberdeen defence with the free kick. Taken short by McGrain. There's McClare! A brilliant touch again by Brian McClare on the near post run. And a sigh of relief from the Aberdeen fans. Well, just watch the way McClare comes across on this. As McGrain flights it in, McClare is there very quickly ahead of Willie Miller, deflecting the ball away and just beyond the far post. Well, McClare certainly a potent threat up front for Celtic.
Well, I think that gives you an idea of his potential threat, Joe, because he left the space in front of him, but when the ball got played into it, it was in there quick, got in on the wrong side of Willie Miller to put it past. But that's how he scores goals, because he puts himself into areas where he can.
Well, that undoubtedly would have settled the match for my money had a third been in for Celtic, but it's still in the balance as Aberdeen press to get back on terms. There's a bit of time wasting there, and the referee is making it clear that he noticed that and will add on the requisite time. Here's Paul Wright. Wide on the right is Joe Miller. This needs an accurate cross for Aberdeen. So the corner kick off Border McLeod. Willie Miller arriving now to join Alec McLeish in the box. Well, that wasn't quite what Joe Miller intended, I'm sure. McKimmie and Johnston are together. McKimmie's very quick indeed. There's space now for McInally. He's onside, taking it past from Paul McStay. Johnston wants it in the middle. Once again, it's that man, Willie Miller, who comes across to block the cross. Aberdeen undoubtedly were badly exposed at that point. So Miller has tidied up once again at the expense of a corner kick, which will be taken by Paul McStay. And it was Anton Rogan coming in at the far post. Didn't get high enough to direct the header downwards. But certainly found space inside the Aberdeen box. There we see the corner kick again. Now Rogan is all on his own here as he comes in to attack the ball. And over the top it goes. McClare. It's McInally. McStay going on his outside. And well policed back by Connor. And Jim Leighton slid over the goal line. And clearly he's very angry indeed about the decision, but you can see here his momentum appeared to carry him towards the line. And the linesman right there decides that the whole ball was over. And he's awarded the corner kick to the annoyance of Jim Leighton. Leighton would be well advised to be careful. He was booked in the first half, you may recall. Well, difficult to see from that angle, but the linesman in the perfect position. And it's left by everyone for Aberdeen until Joe Miller thumped it clear. McClare, Johnston. A glimpse of goal, and Johnston had a shot on target, but Jim Leighton was well positioned. The backkeeler from McClare, Johnston turning for the shot, and there was Leighton. Saw some howls from the Aberdeen fans as a free kick is given to Celtic inside their own half. So Brian McClare, the key man up front for Celtic, as the free kick is taken by their captain, Roy Aiken. It was Johnston. McLeish wins it. Now Wright. A high challenge by White coming in late on Paul Wright. The free kick quickly taken. Here's Bet. Switching it to the right to Joe Miller. Away from McClare. Celtic getting lots of players behind the ball now whenever they lose possession. Here's Alec McLeish. Now Robertson. Wants to take on McGrain. Well, it's been that sort of afternoon for the youngster. So full of promise. A superb career undoubtedly ahead of him, but the touch there wasn't fine enough, and a goal kick to Celtic.
I think some of those young lads of Aberdeen, Jock, are showing their inexperience now. They started the game very, very well, particularly Paul Wright up front and young Joe Miller. They started the game very, very well, but they've drifted out of it as Celtic's got a grip on the game. And you saw young David Robertson just run out of ideas there.
Here comes Celtic again, the form of Peter Grant. Committing the Aberdeen defence. Paul McStay setting it up for McClare. Back it goes to McStay. Space now for McInally. Well, he struck it crisply enough, but Leighton had his angles right. Well, look at the space McInally had here to set himself for the shot, but it was easy in the end for Leighton. So a further bit of reorganisation in the Aberdeen ranks as Joe Miller dropping into the right side of midfield. There he is now in possession, shrugging off Murdo McLeod. Sliding over the cross, there's David Odds. Connor goes back to retrieve. This is McKimmie. Charged down by McGrain. Neat play from Connor. McLeish. Joe Miller asks for it again, wide on the right. Coming inside McLeod. looking for handball, but that's hopeful play from Miller rather than anything positive. Didn't play the whistle, and Celtic have possession. Johnston flighting it in. Good header by Robertson. Good play again from Joe Miller. He's away from Rogan. Inviting another challenge from Rogan, and the free kick has been given to Aberdeen. Anton Rogan showing his frustration about that decision. A very quick fullback, and he has to be, because Joe Miller has tremendous pace. Here's Miller again. All these moves going through Joe Miller for Aberdeen. Connor. Hewitt has space. They're waiting in the middle. There's Paul Wright. No luck at all for Aberdeen. A brilliant move. Paul Wright cannot believe it. As the ball was flighted across, he took it first time in the volley. Bono this time was well beaten, but the post saves Celtic. And still Aberdeen pile on the pressure. And that's another close one from Joe Miller. Trying one, dipping towards the far top corner. Oh, Joe Miller showing his determination, and that certainly wasn't far away.
No, Aberdeen can be excused for thinking this is definitely not their afternoon job, because those were two terrific efforts. The first one, a lovely ball in from the wide position, a lovely strike, and he saw it come off the foot of the post. Young Paul Wright will be feeling very sorry for himself, I'm sure.
So encouragement now coming from the Aberdeen fans. They've been heartened by the last few minutes, but still the Celtic goal is intact. Pat Bonner hasn't been beaten, and these two first half goals still give Celtic a massive advantage. Here's Paul Wright again, challenging fiercely with Derek White. It breaks for Hewitt. Good play from Hewitt, a deep cross, and there's Murdo McLeod. Betts header. Aberdeen looking to give the ball to Joe Miller at every opportunity. Losing out that time. Here's McInally, and Aberdeen will have to be very cautious about Celtic's danger on the break. Here's Paul McStay. McClure backing into Alec McLeish. The big centre-half reacts well. And that's a fine pass for Miller once again. Three men in the middle. One of them is Paul Wright. He appeared to be pushed, yes! The penalty kick is given. It was Danny McGrain who pushed him. McGrain looks incensed, but I'm sure the replay will prove this decision to be correct. The nudge by McGrain as Wright came in on the high ball. So Aberdeen now have the chance to get back into the match.
Joe, I'm not at all convinced it was a penalty kick, you know. I think there was a wee touch of the conditions taking part in it, and the referee's given a penalty. He probably thinks it's right to equalise it.
So it's Jim Bett who'll take the penalty. He's scored 2 out of 3 this season, so he hasn't got a perfect record. It's Bett against Bonner, who's very much the goalkeeper in form. So here comes Jim Bett. Beautifully struck by Bett. Aberdeen are right back in the match, and you can hear the celebrations now among the Aberdeen supporters. Very similar to the Brian McClare penalty kick, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. So calmly put away in this cauldron of Pittodrie Stadium by Jim Bett. Calmly struck. So a controversial moment. But there's the scoreline. Aberdeen 1, Celtic 2. David Robertson's clearance. Well now, what a finish we have for the match in prospect. 24 minutes into the second half as Aberdeen snatch a goal back. Here comes Jim Bett once again. Well, that's good play by Bett, and a fine recovery tackle by the young Celtic fullback Anton Rogan. Kept his head well. It looked as though Bett was beyond him. So every Celtic player except Mo Johnston back inside the box. Miller's corner. There's Alan McInally, one of the men back helping in defence. Johnston appeared to ease McKimmie off the ball, but the referee is indicating that play should continue. There's Robertson. Long ball upfield. Beyond David Odds, there's McGrain. Looked like handball by McStay. The angle wasn't good for referee George Smith. The free kick's been given. The Aberdeen fans in unison calling for that free kick. So Pat Bonner has been beaten at last. Connor's free kick touched on. Joe Miller elects to accept the corner kick. Well, the match looked for the early part of the second half to be comfortable for Celtic, but now suddenly everything has changed. Here's John Hewitt. Brett thumping it in. Now that could easily have taken a deflection as it went through that ruck of players. But happily for Pat Bonner it didn't, and Celtic have the goal kick and the chance to calm things down. Fish with a header. There's Danny McGrain. Connor lofting it high. Underneath it is Murdo McLeod. A good push and play off, but it was picked up by McKimmie. McLeish to Connor. Determined running by Connor, and here's Paul Wright. Oh, good play from Wright. Now Dodds. His first touch wasn't good enough. The Aberdeen centre forward. Paul Wright is rolling at the edge of the box as Hewitt sends the ball across towards Joe Miller. Miller appeared to be held. The Aberdeen fans behind the goal looking for another penalty kick. This time referee George Smith waves these hopeful appeals aside. Paul Wright is back on his feet as Connor picks it up again for Aberdeen. What a cup tie this is now. Spring in the step of the Aberdeen players now. They see the prospect of getting back on terms. Celtic having to draw on all their reserves of experience and courage to settle still on this lead and look for the third goal which would truly clinch the tie. But here comes Stuart McKimmie. Now Dodds. There's Hewitt. This must be the equaliser. Yes! John Hewitt, the cup tie specialist, does it again for Aberdeen. Sheer bedlam now inside Pittodrie, and that undoubtedly was a disaster for the Celtic defence. The ball threading through, they left it to each other. McGrain and Aiken leaving it to Bonner. Hewitt nipped in, and Aberdeen are back on level terms.
You know, Jock, it's an amazing old game, this football. 5 minutes ago Aberdeen were dead and buried, now they're right back in the game. If you look at this goal, I feel that Danny McGrain needlessly left it for the goalkeeper. I felt he should have stepped into it, get it away, and then there's no problem. But all credit to John Hewitt, he took his chance well.
There's the scoreline. Aberdeen 2, Celtic 2. Quarter of the match left. 16 minutes rather left. Quarter of an hour, 16 minutes left for play. Can either side now find the reserves of stamina and determination to snatch a winner? Here's Paul McStay. Back it goes to Leighton. Ian Porterfield now on urging his men out of the dugout. Well, the record, the undefeated record, which looked to be on its way out, is back on course once again. Here's Paul Wright. He's shown some marvellous touches up front for Aberdeen. There's another. And a fine, calm clearance by Roy Aiken. Miller. Here's Wright once again. And Roy Aiken in the right place, nodding it behind for the corner, and now urging on his defenders to settle down, keep their discipline and organisation. Miller back to Hewitt. And carrying the ball over for the goal kick. John Hewitt trying to hit the byline. Well, Billy, for my money, here's David Hay now with a very pensive look again seem to be well under control. Now back in the melting pot, and I for one would be very sad to see either team lose.
Well, to be frank, I can imagine how Davy's feeling, because it looked as though Celtic were going to go further ahead, Jock, and all of a sudden they're right in the melting pot, and it looks as though Aberdeen have grabbed their chance, and they look as though they're putting a lot of pressure on Celtic and might just get something still.
So a quarter of an hour left as Roy Aitken lofts it forward. Here's Alec McLeish. There's McGrain. Running inside Connor. An offside flag must be up against John Hewitt. He was yards offside. The referee acknowledged that to the linesman on the far side, but allowed Roy Aitken to play it forward. So strain now in the face of Roy Aitken. There's the header on from Dodds, blocked by Rogan. Across goes Willie Miller with Mo Johnston. Robertson's header. Willie Miller again, a fine header, an accurate one to bet. Stepping away from Murdo McLeod, appeared to be pushed by the Celtic man, yes. A free kick has been given to Aberdeen, but a big debt owed again to Willie Miller for Aberdeen. There's his record of 52 caps. He's won 4 cup medals in the last 5 seasons. What a remarkable record. And it certainly didn't look as though a 5th was a possibility until the last 10 minutes or so. The tackle by Rogan. Here's McStay. Missed by McClear. Robertson sending it back. Murdo McLeod slipped as he controlled it. Derek White still looks sure-footed at the back for Celtic. Willie Miller again. Picked up by McStay. And Alec McLeish coming across calmly to turn it back to Leighton. Grant's header. Well, I think really in the conditions the match has been a tribute to the qualities of both sides, Billy. They've given us some great football, all things considered.
I think it's been tremendous, Joe, because players have had to adapt quite dramatically to this surface, and adapt they have, and they've provided us with great entertainment.
Now Celtic pushing forward themselves. Renowned, of course, for their resilience and courage in adversity, and it's been adversity in the last 15 minutes or so, but they're still in the cup with a fighting chance. They had a good ball across, and McClear couldn't reach it from McInally. Here's Paul McStay. McGrain lofts it forward. McClear lofting it the far side again, and the header cleared by McKimmie finds Joe Miller. Running out of space on the far side with the attentions of Murdo McLeod. Oh, a delightful flick by Mo Johnston, but McKimmie reacted quickly for Aberdeen. Here's Danny McGrain. Now Paul McStay. It's a great cross. Leighton scrambling. That was a fine ball from Paul McStay, especially in these conditions. Jim Leighton could easily have lost his footing completely. Look at this going across. Leighton very anxious indeed about it. Lost it in the end.
You know, Jock, just when we thought Celtic were down there and not going to be able to come back, they've started the ascendancy again, and they're getting it. That was a beautiful ball in there, begging for someone to go into that back post and put it away.
Very high bounce beats Derek White. Grant lofts it forward. Here's Willie Miller. So here's Robert Connor. One aspect of the second half performance from Aberdeen has been the improvement in the play of Robert Connor after the interval. Missed that glorious chance in the first half. There's Paul Wright battling hard but running into the solid rock in defence of Danny McGrain. There's Willie Miller. Dodds. That was intended for Bet, but it's collected by McStay. Now Murdo McLeod, a chance for a long-range effort perhaps. Just doing too much on the ball, running into McKimmie. Here's Alan McInally. The man who set the match alight in the first half with that glorious header for the opening goal. Joe Miller has been penalised. Frustrated young man once again. So 10 minutes left. Aberdeen 2, Celtic 2. And the match really could not be more finely balanced. Here's Roy Aitken now joining the attack. He hasn't had too many chances in the second half to do that. Order McLeod. Headed away by McKimmie. There's Aitken. Fine effort by Aitken. Almost caught out Jim Leighton at the near post. An awkward bouncing shot. Leighton beating it behind for the corner kick. But this could so easily have sneaked in at the near post. The header out by McKimmie. It's played short there on it from the header by McLeod to Aitken. The hook shot. And there was Leighton. Leighton again. A sure pair of hands. Alec McLeish starting the move from a deep position for Aberdeen. John Hewitt taking up that position wide on the left. Stepping inside, McGrain. It's quite remarkable to think that Aberdeen started the match without their two top scorers, Billy Stark and John Hewitt, both on the bench. There's McLeish. David Odds with a header. Now McGrain. McKimmie. Rogan thumping it forward. Willie Miller's header. Rogan once again. The ball's a long time in the air this time. Willie Miller wins it. Joe Miller can't get to it. So there's David Robertson with the pass back to Jim Leighton. So John Hewitt's the man who's set the match alight with that equalising goal. He was something of a substitute expert, 28 appearances this season, and of course scored in the European Cup Winners' Cup final in Gothenburg. He also scored a couple of times in the cup final against Hearts last season. And now Aberdeen have a free kick. Too far out for a direct shot, I'm sure, although a three-man wall has been lined up. 8 minutes left for play. Bet leaves it to Paul Wright. Well, I spoke too soon. I thought it was much too far out for a direct shot, but didn't reckon with the shooting power of this young man. That ball rifled just beyond Bonner's left-hand post.
A really exciting young talent, Jock, isn't he? What a tremendous strike he had there. He's come back into the game. So he probably heard me criticising him early on there, and he's come right back into it and played very well again.
McLeish with a header. Here's David Odds. Now McKimmie. Head flick from Dodds. Here's Paul Wright. And since she's away from the winner. What an effort that was from the young striker. And a fine build-up once again, laid into his path. Anxious for the shot at goal. It was wide of the target. Bonner narrowing the angle.
Marvellous shot again there, Jock. He's certainly one for the future, this kid. Certainly he's one for the present at the moment, looking at his performance. It's been very, very exciting indeed.
So 17 appearances this season, just 19 years old, forcing his way into the Aberdeen ranks. Here's Jim Bett. High ball for Miller. Derek White goes across. Teammates in the youth team so recently. A slip from White. Hooked away by Rogan, only as far as Bett. And Paul McStay did a good job there for Celtic, putting pressure on Bett, closing him down. Here's Wright again. Appears to be full of confidence and determination. Running at Danny McGrain. A well-timed tackle by McGrain. Getting in again in front of David Robertson. So what's this long throw from David Robertson? Well, he really wasn't trying flat out on that occasion, I can assure you. can make a throw in into a corner kick. Here's Paul McStay. Oh, a good dummy from Grant. Chances on now for Celtic. McClair and Johnston are up. And the ball breaking away there to Davy Dodds. Well, lucky to get a second chance at the clearance. Here comes Rogan. Dodds did well with an offside flag. So Aberdeen 2, Celtic 2, the closing minutes of the match, and it looks increasingly likely that there will be a second attempt with these two marvellous sides to sort things out at Celtic Park in midweek. Unless, of course, there's a bit of drama still to come. Here's Robert Connor. Now Miller. McKimmie goes on the outside. Good running by the fullback. There's Hewitt. Missed by Connor once again on the 6-yard line. That could so easily have been the winner for Aberdeen. With just 4 minutes left of the clock, there was Connor missing the ball across the face of the goal, driven there by Hewitt. So the cross by McKimmie, controlled back across the face of the goal by Hewitt, and Connor again out of luck in front of goal.
He'll be practicing that this week, I would think, Jockey. That's a couple of chances he missed. That was certainly a difficult one, but very definite chance nevertheless.
Good play from Peter Grant. Back it goes to McGrain. Willie Miller being told to get a move on as Mo Johnston comes across to try to prevent the ball going for the goal kick. So Jim Leighton doesn't have to be in quite so much of a hurry as he was a short time ago. Now that Aberdeen are back in level terms, Aiken's header, McClair getting up well, led up by Robertson only as far as McLeod. There's Alec McLeish. Difficult one for Joe Miller. Lofted by Murdo, McLeod, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. Oh, Ian Porterfield now a much relieved man. He obviously thought the Scottish Cup chance was gone early in the second half. And still the unbeaten record intact also. 2 minutes left as Celtic try to get forward once again. Home or away, Celtic can be depended upon to try to win matches. That comes off Alan McInally, and that means it's the goal kick to Aberdeen.
You know, Jock, it's been great entertainment we've had tonight. Marvellous game. It really would be a shame, and it is going to be a shame for either of these two teams going out the Scottish Cup, but what a spectacle, what a great game of football they provided for us in very difficult conditions.
Well, I must confess, selfishly, I'll have no objections at all to watching it all over again in midweek. The standard of the play has been remarkable, I think, in these conditions, and both sides still determined to take any chance they can, and that's just beyond Paul Wright from Anton Rogan. What a fine match this young man has had. So we're going into the final minute of the match, or the 90 minutes that is. There will be some time added on, I think. Here's Paul McStay for Celtic, and the neatest of tackles that was from Willie Miller. He remained very calm, kept his eye on the ball, and now it's Aberdeen on the break. Here's John Hewitt. Again, the first touch let him down. So here's McClair. Good ball into the path of McInally. Still Alan McInally forcing his way forward. Plays it against McLeish for the corner kick. Can Celtic conjure up a winning goal dramatically in the last minutes? It's headed away by Miller in front of Johnston. Miller once again, what a powerhouse he's been in defence for Aberdeen. David Odd's back helping. Here's Brian McClare. Celtic putting on the pressure in the closing minutes. Here's McStay. McInally. Scrambled away by Aberdeen this time, and it's Aberdeen now suddenly looking a little bit hesitant in defence as Celtic pile on the pressure, and the free kick's been given. It'll be taken by Danny McGrain once John Hewitt backs off. There's Danny McGrain's free kick. Anton Rogan up with the attack. And now it's Jim Leighton keeping the ball in play as Rogan sprints back. And there goes the final whistle, no time added on. They'll have to meet again in midweek and try to sort it out all over again. A tremendous match. Celtic had the upper hand in the first half. A couple of goals from them there. And there was John Hewitt, the man who snatched the equalising goal late in the match after an error in the Celtic defence. 2 penalty kicks, one for Celtic scored by Brian McClare, one for Aberdeen scored by Jim Betts. Tremendously courageous second half performance by Aberdeen, and they'll meet again in midweek. It'll be Celtic against Aberdeen at Celtic Park, and what a match that promises to be. So there are the closing scenes here from Pittodrie. With that, we hand you back to Arthur Montford in Glasgow.
The commentators there at Pittodrie, of course, Jock Brown and Billy McNeil, direction by Graham
Scoring action today.
Alan McInally, the first 15-20 minutes of the game were always going to be the crucial ones, so your goal came just the right time. Can you remember the build-up?
Yeah, well, it was away on the right-hand side, and I always run to the back post anyway, and it was a bit of an up and under. And I think Jim Leighton slipped right enough, but I was happy to see it get in the back of the net anyway.
Well, it was great psychological pressure after that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. We had a lot of the game in the first half, obviously, and in the second half we just completely fell out of it. I think our midfield was better in the first half, and Aberdeen's midfield were much better in the second half.
Well, that's right. Super sub John Hewitt comes on the second half and changes the course of the game.
Well, as I say, the play started up on the right-hand side of the park. It was pushed inside, and I think the Celtic defenders hesitated, and I just snipped in and took it around Pat Bonner and just rolled it into the net.
And that was just after 5 minutes after Jim had scored, so really the whole course of the game.
This last week, the balance of Scottish football power has shifted from one side of Glasgow to the other, and Celtic are now installed as the new favourites to win the title. It's no coincidence that Billy McNeil, Big Caesar, is back, and spending money, matching Graham Souness pound for pound. McNeil was at his desk this week, but speechless with flu, overseeing a forward line which cost £1.8 million and which scored 5 last week, its first time together. There's Andy Walker, £300,000 from Motherwell. Then Joe Miller signed a week ago from Aberdeen for £650,000. And there's the club's most expensive signing ever, Frank McAvenny, £850,000 from West Ham United. When you came back, how ambitious did you think Celtic were then?
I think they've always been ambitious. They've always... The league title's got to be the #1 target, and that'll never leave Celtic. It's demanded of them. The fans expect it. So they weren't that. There was nothing there, really.
You knew you were going to play alongside Andy Walker. What did you know about him?
Obviously, down there you just see clips on TV. My friends still come to Tesco every week, so they tell me about him. He's very highly rated by the fans.
Tell me about him as a player. I mean, what's he got going for him?
He's got something that I've been quite fortunate. I've been playing with good strikers all through my career, and Andy's no exception. He's just the exact same. Everything seems to click between the two of us. And obviously with the latest signing, it's a bit different. There's 3 of us now, and we can turn and go at defences.
Yeah, I mean, you get 2 helpers instead of 1 a week or 2 after you arrive. What will Joe Miller's role in the side be?
He'll do tremendous things for us. I mean, I'm a target man now. I'm going to play with a club one day that's got a big centre forward, but I seem to be the tallest out of all the teams I play for. Joe will do a great job for us. He's so tricky, he's got a lot of skill. And Andy's a great finisher.
As you can see, Celtic are determined both on the park and off the park to give their fans the best possible deal, rebuilding all over the place in time for their centenary year, 1988. If they are going to win the league, of course, they're still going to have to get past Hearts, who lead it at the moment and don't seem able to lose these days. But the real reason, Greavesy, I've had to come out here to do this piece is because I've got to whisper the next bit gently. Celtic might well beat Dunfermline this afternoon, but this is what happened the last time the two sides met.
Jenkins heading it across. The opening goal! Craig Robertson for Dunfermline. Here's Billy Stark finding space. Impeded by Graham Robertson, and a penalty kick has been given. So Walker with 6 goals to his name this season has the chance to get Celtic back on terms. Beautifully struck by Walker, his 7th goal of the season. Ball is in trouble. Eric Ferguson.
Well, while the Old Firm battle out, Jim, for supremacy in Glasgow, it's Hearts, you know, Zine actually was saying, was sitting
Old Firm game at Ibrox. Goalkeeper Chris Woods was fined £500 for his part in the incident, which led to the first case of its kind in Scotland. His team captain and fellow English internationalist Terry Butcher was fined £250. A third Rangers player, Graham Roberts, had the charge against him found not proven. The fourth player charged, Frank McAvenny of Celtic, was found not guilty.
The charges arose out of a confrontation between Rangers goalkeeper Chris Woods and Celtic striker McAvenny. Terry Butcher joined in by pushing McAvenny on the chest, and Graham Roberts, it was said, punched McAvenny, who fell to the ground. The crowd reaction, said the Crown, was violent. Police feared a pitch invasion and moved in reinforcements. In giving his decision, Sheriff Archibald Mackay said that it had been urged upon him to proceed with caution. The case was apparently new ground for the law of Scotland. One of the principal pieces of evidence, he said, was a video recording of the game, but that two-dimensional picture could give a false impression. Finding Frank McAvenny not guilty, he said that it was clear that he was trying to brace himself against a collision with the Rangers goalkeeper. His action, he said, would not constitute a breach of the peace on a pavement, far less on a football pitch. The charge against Graham Roberts was found not proven. Sheriff Mackay said some of the evidence against Roberts was strong, but the charge had not been proved beyond reasonable doubt. Finding Terry Butcher guilty, the sheriff said that he deliberately and violently pushed McAvenny away, which quite reasonably upset the Celtic supporters. Chris Woods was found guilty of assaulting McAvenny and causing a breach of the peace. Sheriff Mackay said that Scotland enjoyed an international reputation for fair play. Conduct like that of Butcher and Woods put that reputation in doubt. Rangers solicitor said that they were disappointed with the result and were considering an appeal.
Paddy Castle. A draw with Hearts will give Billy McNeill his 4th title as Parkhead manager, and he still has a cup final to look forward to. And at Ibrox, captain Terry Butcher, named in a squad of 15 to face Hibs, may make his return from a leg break sustained there 5 months ago. But if Celtic can complete their 32nd consecutive unbeaten game, all eyes will be on Tynecastle, where Hearts are out to stop a league and cup double defeat inflicted within 8 days. They'll be wary of the scoring power of a team that's bulldozed its way through both tournaments so far.
Stay. No offside. That's a great move by Morris. McAvenny with a chance to score. No Woods in goal, and that's a goal. McAvenny. Went beyond everybody, it's in. McStay. Just touched away, and this will be the shot. It's a brilliant goal. Correct. Well, that diagonal pass has been proving useful to Rogan. Oh, that's it. Andy Walker, 2-0. I think he wants a near post one. Henry Smith is up. They can't get it in. It's gone in. Mark McGee.
It's a tantalising one. Goals given.
Impressive stuff there. Well, a week after the Grand...
They'll be here on the 8th of May. Make that
In a church hall in the centre of Glasgow, the Wildcat Theatre Company rehearse a new musical. It celebrates 100 years of Celtic Football Club.
It's a great story. It's a club which has been going for 100 years, an enormously successful club, and a great many anecdotes and tales connected with it, the stuff of theatre, really. And the story of the supporters is really the story that we're telling. The Glasgow Irish Catholic community which came over from Ireland during the Great Hunger, and the way in which they've emerged from the ghetto is parallel in the way in which the club has become successful.
£60,000 worth of tickets have already been sold for the 8-week season at the Pavilion Theatre. The idea came from Celtic's chairman. The club have underwritten production costs. The poster features the current team in the costumes and whiskers of their predecessors. And the founding fathers of 1888 are also being remembered in an exhibition at the People's Palace. On video, in glass cases full of glory, in silverware to widen impressionable eyes, legends are preserved for the young to carry into the next century. It's a great party, and the cherry on the icing on the cake was January's win over Rangers.
Stay. No offside. That's a great move by Morris. McAvenny with a chance to score. No Woods in goal, and that's a goal. McAvenny.
Goals from a remotivated Frank McAvenny, and a victory that started, as so many have this season, at the talented feet of Paul McStay.
It's just a role I enjoy playing in the middle of the midfield, and the gaffer just gave us a licence to go anywhere I want, really, and pick up the ball. It suits me.
These streets have bred generations of gifted players who found in football a means of expression as well as a livelihood. On the east side, Parkhead is the shrine of a club with its foundations deep in Irish Catholic soil. Youngsters these days don't have to kick a tennis ball against a wall. The new Glasgow has playing space, practical though, rather than lavish. Celtic themselves are no millionaires club. Their training ground is Spartan, and they're not the only ones who use it. The quality is in the players and the passion of their dedication. Roy Aitken has skippered the team to the verge of the double. How does he rate them?
I think it's got to stand up there beside the best that I've played in, because we're on the verge of winning the double. I've only won that once in my career. It was back in 76, 77 under Jock Stein.
Doyle to take this. It's a great equaliser. Aitken has equalised.
And with great players like Kendall, Lee, Stanley McGrain, Pat Stanton in the team. But this team really is on the verge of great things.
What's made it so good?
Just the appetite within the team. I mean, we've always been a good team when we had the ball, but this year in particular, we've been a good team when we've not got the ball. And we really hustle opponents into losing the ball, and we get it back really quickly.
Aitken is a man of presence, a natural leader. Just as Billy McNeil was the extension of Jock Stein on the pitch in the 70s, so Aitken translates into practice the principles McNeil now demands in his second spell as Celtic's manager.
Now, this was the season when, to an outsider, it seems that everything was all cut and dried for Rangers, and you rather upset the apple cart, haven't you?
Yes, we're quite pleased about that in many ways, but we're more important, we're pleased for our own success. We've got a tremendous group of supporters here, and they were desperate for something to happen. These players have made it happen, and it's been terrific.
Among the men who've done it, Joe Miller, the precocious dribbler from Aberdeen, who was persuaded to prefer Parkhead to Old Trafford as McNeil undertook a major restructuring of his team. Andy Walker, who cost £350,000 when he was transferred from Motherwell last summer, has blossomed as Celtic's leading scorer with 30 goals in all competitions.
that pass has been proving useful to Rogan. Oh, that's it! Andy Walker, 2-0.
Among Walker's priceless contribution was a last-minute winner against Hearts last Saturday to take Celtic to the cup final.
It's a tantalising one. Goals given. Walker is getting the congratulations.
Before Celtic turn their thoughts again to the cup, they can take the first part of the double. Today they meet Hearts again, and a point at Tynecastle would hoist the championship pennant over Parkhead for the 6th time in 13 seasons of the Premier Division. For McNeil, the savour is no less sweet now than it was when he was the rock of the 70s side of all the talents.
McNeil to goal. A goal by McNeil as the Rangers defence absolutely snapped, brilliantly taken by McNeil.
Kenny Dalglish. Connolly.
There must be the goal. There's the equaliser by Jimmy Johnston.
Heroes for Celtic are heroes forever. Jimmy Johnston was signing copies of his new book this week, and the queues stretched round the shop. But Johnston's share in memories of the past doesn't blind him to the qualities of the present.
The way they're playing just now, I'm delighted, obviously. And Joe Miller, I think they've bought possibly one of the most exciting players that I've seen at Celtic for a long time. A lot of the fans will agree with me there. When Joe came, he added that little bit of width to it, and it's taken a lot off the front two runners.
You wish you were still out there?
I love it. I would love to, yes.
We'll need the perspective of time before we can say just how good are the Celtic of the centenary season. But the signs are that these are vintage years again for the green and whites.
Work all night in the cold and dark, build that dream. Work all night at the Celtic Park, build that team. Kids and cowards, right up. It's goal! Celtic has scored! They'll be here on the 8th of May, make that day. China's only God.
He's going through again. He's there.
Celtic on the verge of the championship, but still not sure who they'll meet in the Scottish Cup final, Wednesday's semi.
It's a full league programme.
Said as expected. They won their match last week, 3-0. This is the dressing room seems after.
Yeah, very.
Big Billy going around shaking hands with everybody.
Yeah.
Terrific for him. Roy Aitken, the skipper.
Nice. Well, Roy's done well, hasn't he? I mean, he's kept going and kept the lads at it. And Billy McNeil, it's a great thing for Billy, isn't it? He's gone back up there and achieved what he set out to do. It's really good. I mean, it's lovely sign, and that's nice, isn't it? Seeing the
Tommy Craig and Billy in the bath.
Yeah, that's nice seeing. It's the first time they've had one this year, so they'll be grateful for that. Champagne as well. Very nice. Good lads.
Well done. Yeah. They played very good football, Jim.
Yeah, and reporters. I mean, Jim's so immaculate. He's straight out of next window, isn't he, Jim? And I mean, I heard him shout, "Watch the Rolex," as I think it was Rolex, he said. But the old watch took a ducking as well there, didn't it?
Celtic will be getting a bill for the watch. Right. So the two major championships going on the same day to Kenny Dalglish and Billy McNeil, the two men who used to share a car to training at Celtic Park. But still plenty of issues to be decided.
They're a very, very good side. And, you know, they'll probably be, if they do it, one of the champions.
Frustrating for you fellas against Celtic this season because you haven't beaten them, have you?
We haven't beaten them, though we've had a chances to beat them, obviously, last week, and we're leading them 2-0 at Parkhead, so hopefully tomorrow will be the first time.
How dearly would you personally like to delay the Celtic? It certainly looks as if Celtic...
Enough stick over Mimsy. What about those ones last week?
We don't have the pictures.
Celtic and Hearts.
We don't have the pictures.
Very, very convenient.
We don't have the pictures.
Very good.
Now, Hearts were very unlucky. I mean, they're leading 1-0 with 2 minutes to go,
Yeah.
and Celtic, bang, bang, 2-1.
No, the goalkeeper went bang, bang, 2-1.
Henry Smith, yeah. But anyway, I hope the Hearts get a result today.
Second half, the French pressed for goal number 2. This long-range effort well stopped by Cyprus goalkeeper Panziaras. And then joy for the home crowd in the 76th.
Especially in the first half, they were very strong through the centre of the fence where Bratsev, the Norwegian, picks up man for man with another marker, Otten, and a spare man at the back with two full-backs pushing wide. They were very tight early on, and I'm sure Celtic have a problem scoring against them if they play like that.
Can you be optimistic, mate? Do you think Celtic can overcome them?
I'm sure at Parkhead there's a few flaws I've seen that hopefully Celtic will be able to do something about. But it's going to be difficult. Don't kid yourself. This is a class side, and as I say, they got a bit careless near the end, and they lost their discipline a wee bit once Cologne went in front. But again, they had changed their tactics by that time.
You've just seen Cologne.
Home side out to end a poor sequence of results on their own ground, and Celtic looking for their first away win of the season. Let's join our commentator Jock Brown at the start.
Hearts are still without Eamon Bannon, although he's able to take his place on the bench alongside Mike Galloway, who's still out of favour, as is Wayne Foster, and that means Malcolm Murray continues in defence. And joining John Cahoon and Ian Ferguson up front is 23-year-old Alan Moore, a very promising flank player who cost £90,000 when he was signed from Dumbarton 2 years ago. And Celtic are without flu victim Paul McStay, who's having a miserable 24th birthday today, but they have Tommy Burns available after injury to play in midfield. There's no Joe Miller, but Andy Walker's back to play alongside Frank McAvenny and Mark McGee up front. And there was a huge welcome back from the Celtic fans for Pat Bonner, restored to the first team for the first time this season after missing the early part of the year through a back injury. A glorious autumn afternoon and perfect conditions underfoot as Hearts get the game underway. These sides finishing first and second in the Premier Division last season, but struggling in the early stages this term. And the match taking on additional importance because of that. And Celtic, of course, having to operate without the midfield craft of Paul McStay for the first time this season. That's a major blow to them, but they do have Andy Walker back, restored to full fitness. And now combining with McGee and McAvenny up front. There's Cahoon, a former Celtic player, stopped by Rogan. McGee misses it. Here's Neil Berry. Berry playing in the same area of the field as Roy Aiken is for Celtic. That's in the centre of midfield, so that could result in some very tough exchanges indeed. McCarthy's header. There's Mark McGee. But a lot of these players played in midweek and international matches for Scotland, Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. The referee this afternoon was Jim Renton from Cowdenbeath. Touched on by Moore, but Morris, who also passed the fitness test before the match, clears up. Kenny Black's challenge on McAvenny. McCarthy looking for Roy Aiken. There's McAvenny. McGee's underneath it with Dave McPherson. That's for McAvenny. There's Andy Walker. He's onside. And he couldn't have come closer. Oh, what a let-off this is for Hearts. Came from the free kick. Beautifully played on by Aiken. Then by McAvenny. McGee screening it well, laying it towards McAvenny. Walker all on his own, drilling the shot beyond Henry Smith and off the inside of the post. McAvenny tackled on the turn by Malcolm Murray. Still Celtic having the early edge. Here's McAvenny breaking towards the corner flag. Andy Walker's underneath it. An excellent chance again for Andy Walker. Created by that long throw which released Frank McAvenny. Fine out-swinging cross. There was Walker on his own again, and the header goes straight at Smith. Tackle came from former Celtic player Brian Whittaker. There's McAvenny. He's well to turn, a great chance for Celtic. Missed in the middle again by Walker. Well, what an opportunity once again. Is the third great chance of the match for Andy Walker. Well, it was all down to the brilliant play here from Frank McAvenny, shrugging up Brian Whittaker, driving into the box, playing across the 6-yard box, and a complete miss kick from Andy Walker. Headed on by Ferguson. There's White. McAvenny back towards Morris. McGee going up with Whittaker. Whittaker just made it in time. Some fascinating individual duels going on out there. McGee and Whittaker being one of them. Here's Kenny Black. There's Moore now on the run with Derek White. Moore in possession. Away from White this time. But delaying the cross too long, allowing White to recover. Some promising play by young Alan Moore in attack for Hearts. Dave McPherson is on the goal line for Ian Ferguson's corner. Corner comes out to punch it clear. Here's Billy Stark. Well tackled by Black. There's Ferguson! Hit with incredible power by Ian Ferguson. The corner kick initially beaten out by Pat Bonner. Billy Stark then trying to work the ball out of the Celtic penalty area, stopped by Kenny Black. Now one glimpse of goal. There's Ian Ferguson's shot right into the side netting. Moore to Murray. There's Cahoon. Gets help from Black. That's towards Ian Ferguson. A very accurate header down to Cahoon, who's onside. Derek White who blocked the cross. Putting it in quickly in front of McGee. McPherson, that's towards Walter Kidd. Bouncing kindly for Hearts towards Ferguson. And good goalkeeping again from Bonner. But the power on that right foot of Ian Ferguson really is remarkable. A lucky break there off the back of Walter Kidd. Now look at this for power in the shot on the turn under pressure. Barnes going up with Mackay. There's Andy Walker. Now McGee trying to get away from Murray. Roy Aiken calling for the ball at the far corner of the box. He's got it now, but he's offside. It won't count. It would have been Aiken's first of the season, but the linesman's flag was up when the ball was in flight towards him. And it must have been a very tight decision indeed, because he appeared to be at worst in line with Berry. That would have been him offside. Kidd and Mackay. Closing minutes of the first half. Ryan Whittaker. Here's Alan Moore. It's off the top of the crossbar. Brilliant play from Alan Moore and no luck in the end. The pass came from Whittaker, a gap in the centre of the Celtic defence. Moore controlling it, rather than making life difficult, deflecting it onto the crossbar. Swinging it, came off the head of Stark. There's Rogan. Kenny Black. And almost catching out Pat Bonner. Good goalkeeping once again, and a fine effort from Kenny Black. Corner kick headed on by Stark, then helped out by Rogan. Controlled well here by Black. Spotted Bonner advancing and almost beat him with that left foot shot. But there was an offside flag up. Celtic defence sprinted out, so it wouldn't have counted with the free kick taken by Celtic. Ferguson's header with Stark and now Ferguson. Breaks off Cahoon. Supported by Mackay. That was blocked by White. Certainly looking goal-hungry now as the interval approaches. A grandstand finish to this first half, having started without any conviction at all in their play. Hearts. There's Kenny Black, lighting that toward the top corner, and again it's Pat Bonner to the rescue of Celtic. Kenny Black testing him to the full, and Pat Bonner now getting lots of work. Good play there by McPherson. Then by Kenny Black. That would have been a fine goal, and it was brilliantly saved by Bonner. Here's Ian Ferguson, the final minute of the first half. Helped on by Moore. McAvenny's header goes straight to Black. This time he poses no problems of Pat Bonner, but he's had a couple of superb efforts in the closing minutes of this first half. So Pat Bonner has seen more activity in the last 5 minutes than he's probably seen for a very long time indeed. And he's coped superbly. And any doubts, any lingering doubts about his fitness surely now dispelled. And he is the reason why Celtic are likely now to go in at half-time, all square. They could so easily have gone behind in these last few minutes. There goes the half-time whistle. So Celtic going off. They should have had the game won inside 10 minutes. Andy Walker with 3 great opportunities. One on the left foot, one on the head, one on the right foot. Then depending on this man, Pat Bonner in the end. He made that brilliant save from Alan Moore, touching the ball on the crossbar to make sure the half-time scoreline remained level. The Celtic start the second half, and they must have reflected at half-time on the way their fortunes changed in that first half. They had so much of the play early on and then finished up defending desperately against that Hearts onslaught. The huge debt due to their goalkeeper Pat Bonner. So it'll be interesting to see how they react at the start of the second half. Hearts growing in confidence as that first half wore on. Now determined to get back on the league rails. The ball swerving out there for a throw. The throw will go to Hart. There was a deflection. Malcolm Murray, who had a good first half for Hearts. And Ferguson showed glimpses of his shooting ability. There's White with the clearance. McPherson taking no chances. There are no obvious tactical alterations on either side in the opening part of the second half. The Celtic front three have been interchanging throughout the match. They have used McGee through the middle frequently with McAvenny on the right and this man, Andy Walker, on the left. Doing well to find room to get in the cross, but McPherson's there to cover for Hearts, and this is Mackay. Kidd doing well, making himself available on the right. Kenny Black telling his colleagues he will handle things. Pass finds Moore. This is Berry. Moore gets it again. Mackay to Murray. Here's Ian Ferguson. McAvenny was in quickly. There's Roy Aitken with a header. Stark playing it into space for Tommy Barnes. Here's Morris. There's room to operate on the right. Awkward angled cross. Mark McGee. 2 minutes into the second half. The Celtic fans go wild with delight. Hearts defence rooted to the spot. Here was Tommy Barnes spotting Chris Morris on the right. Morris being given a lot of room to come forward. Sends in this awkward angled cross. The Hearts defence is static. Mark McGee wasn't. Smith had no chance. The 5th goal of the season for Mark McGee. 2 minutes into the second half. McAvenny to start. The Hearts ball taken quickly towards Moore. Tackle from McCarthy. There's Ferguson. Now Black. Out of range, so too was Mark McGee. Here's Kidd. Good measured pass to find Galloway in space on the right. He has Cahoon outside him. An overlap on here, but there's Galloway. Clearance came from Rogan. There's Murray. Anton Rogan's header. Breaks for Black. There's Ferguson. McCarthy's clearance. That's a good ball run when he got wide towards Cahoon. The tackle was by Aiken, a fair one at that. Here's Andy Walker being chased by Kidd. There's Walker. Completely beat Walter Kidd and took that tackle, which is clearly a foul, and Walker is none the worse. A chance now for Celtic. There's Barnes. And the Smiths committed. Good goalkeeping. Waiting for his players to go forward. One for Bannon to chase if he has the pace. Yes, he's done well. Throwing enough of the ball to Morris though to make that tackle. Morris is very quick on the return journey there. It's a corner kick to Hearts. Yes, the purpose has been for every set piece. Headed on to the far post. Still not clear. There's Galloway. Done by Moore. And Ferguson had scrambled away in the end by Chris Morris. Celtic living dangerously in that hectic burst of activity. Head flick on caused all the problems. Ferguson couldn't direct it on target. Aiken heading it out. There was Galloway. And it's Black for the next corner kick. Up goes McPherson. And saved on the line by Bonner. The header was by Alan Moore. Wow, what a relief for Bonner. Well, it was a deep corner kick this time, right to the far side from Black. McPherson nodded it back in. There was Moore with a header, and Bonner was in just the right place. Here's Chris Morris now. McAvenny is through the middle. A great chance now for Celtic to settle it. It's McAvenny against Smith. Perfectly finished by McAvenny. 3 minutes from the end. Surely now the Hearts' effort is spent. Frank McAvenny with his 10th goal this season. Hearts first committed upfield with McAvenny in the race with Murray. McAvenny was always going to win it. Smith trying to narrow the angle, but that's deadly finishing by McAvenny. There's Mark McGee. Dumped away by Black. Ian Ferguson trying to find Moore through the middle, but Morris turns it back. And there goes the final whistle. Celtic the winners in the end by 2-0, but that really does not reflect accurately the balance of play, particularly in the second half. Celtic taking the lead in 2 minutes into the second half through Mark McGee, a fine piece of opportunism from him. Then it was backs to the wall for a long, long period while Hearts battled back into the play. And while they were committed to attack, Frank McAvenny snatched the second goal just before the end to give Celtic an undoubtedly flattering scoreline. In the end, it's Hearts 0, Celtic 2.
Billy, 2 points in the end, but some battle through that second half.
Yes, it was a battle. It was a real back to the wall situation, and that's the disappointing thing about it, Jock, because I felt that we should have come in at half-time clearly in front. We got the goal that I felt our player had merited us getting early in the second half, and it was a good goal and good finish, typical striker's finish, and I was pleased for Mark McGee because he worked so hard today. But then we tended to take a step backwards, and we gave them far, far too much room, and we accepted that they were going to come at us. I suppose the lads will say to me that they didn't create an awful lot of chances, but when your corner kicks are going to begging like that and free kicks are coming into the box, they've got so many big fellas that you often worry in case you're going to lose one. But then again, the goalkeeper came back and you know, he carried his little bit of luck today, but I think he had an influence on the back division as well.
What was your thinking about playing Pat Bonner in today's match?
Well, it was a difficult one, but you know, we've got some very, very important games coming up now. And I looked at the thing and I said, if I don't bring him in now, he's going to have to prepare for reserve games, and it's not really the sort of targets to set in front of him. It may have been hard on Alan Rough because Alan's come in and over the past few games has done very, very well, but I'm fortunate that he took it like the good professional he is and probably accepts that Packy has got to come back in.
So Packy's come through a stiff one. It's interesting that we came here twice last year and only took 1 point. So I'm not saying it was all down to Packy, but it was a good one for him to come back in.
How do you feel today's game prepared you for Wednesday night? Because it will be very different.
Well, I've told the boys they've got to start preparing now. That I think as professionals, they've got to go and get rest in their own time now. They've got to relax from this game. They've got to get loads of rest because Werder Bremen are a first-class side. They really are. So we're going to have to be very, very fit. We're going to have to be very sharp, and we're going to have to accept there'll be great physical demands on us as well.
Billy, the very best of luck for that one tomorrow.
Right, Joe. Thank you very much.
And Celtic join.
Fans can look forward to the talents of a striker who netted 37 times last year.
I think the big difference is Celtic depend on winning, and that is the main difference. Celtic have got to win for the crowd they carry every week, and I just hope to be in the winning team.
They'll get a chance and they put it away.
So, coin plays for Celtic in Scotland's match of the day at Tynecastle, a game neither side can afford to lose. Celtic, because only 9 straight Premier League wins could throw Championship hopes a lifeline, and Hearts, because victory would provide a boost before their treacherous UEFA Cup away leg in Germany on Tuesday. The Parkhead side have won all 3 league games this season. This was the goal that settled the first of the encounters.
Miller busting through the middle. Morris. Oh, superb play by McStay. It's there. McAvenny.
Berwick Rangers.
Celtic fans are asking, just what are the present board up to? The exterior of Celtic Park on a wild and wet March afternoon could look like any other major football club, but the interior is a touch of paradise. From the quite striking mirrored ceiling, down the richly carpeted staircase to the fountain in the corner, an entrance hall of elegance and splendour. The familiar logo of a club now 101 years old lies beneath our feet. At the back of the stand, high under the roof, are placed the superbly appointed executive boxes. Upstairs, the comfort of the Jockstein Lounge, all making up a new Celtic Park, which even the big man himself would find impressive. Changed days indeed. At the helm of this new look is Chairman Jack McGinn. Now, Jack McGinn, the other half of the old firm at Ibrox, has been making the headlines in recent months with a new owner, a new finance director. Have Celtic got the income to keep up with them?
Yes, Jad, there's nothing new about this, I don't think. I mean, I think in the 100 years of Celtic, we've probably been looked upon as the ones with less finances, if you like. We've always had the smaller support, if you can put it that way. We've always had the least to call upon. But having said that, we haven't failed over the last 100 years to be there or thereabouts as far as football is concerned, and trophy winning in particular.
Now, the stadium itself, we've seen a lot done to it. We were round it this morning. It's looking really impressive. What other plans have you got for that?
Well, the most immediate plan, just now we're trying to get all systems to go for this summer to do a great deal of improvement to the East End terracing of the ground. All of the West End has been done in recent times, and all of the main building here and the facilities you've referred to. If in fact we can get the East End part of the terracing to the sort of standard we would like it, the next great thing in our horizon would be a new stand on the other side of the ground, and clearly that will come as soon as the finances are there to support it.
Now, Jack, last season was a wonderful time for the club. They did the league and cup double, and more importantly, it was the centenary year. It was a great time for everyone. Now, there is a suggestion in business circles that the time to reinforce a good-going team is when you're at the top. And why didn't you buy anybody?
Well, you see, I think in actual fact it's always easy for people to be wise after the event. In point of fact, there was no policy at the club of not buying anybody, of deliberately saying we're not buying anybody. The manager, the assistant manager, the chief scout, everyone, they were looking all over the place for players. And anyone in football knows that it's not purely a matter of going and buying any player just for the sake of buying a player. You've got to look at a player that you think will fit into your pattern. Availability comes into it. Sometimes we particularly like players, and as it happened, the other club didn't particularly want to sell that player to us. So all of these things play a part.
Now, you have purchased a player in the last couple of weeks or so, Tommy Coyne, for £500,000 from Dundee. Is more money available if manager Billy McNeill wants another player?
I mean, at the end of the day, people were accusing us of not spending money. In actual fact, everyone thought, and particularly the manager and his assistant, thought that Tommy Coyne was the player that they wanted, and we've signed that. So I think we've dispelled all this nonsense of not buying players.
Now, there are rumours at various times of Celtic ripe for a takeover, and recently Sean Connery was quoted in one of our national dailies as being in the market for a takeover of Celtic Football Club. Is the club for sale at any time?
No, the answer to that is unequivocally no. This club is not for sale. This club was founded 100 years ago to help feed the poor of the East End of Glasgow. And in their wisdom, I think the people in charge at that time made the club a private company, and I think it was a magnificent thing to do. Because what it did, in fact, was it has meant all down the years the people who have been the custodians of the club have been interested in Celtic Football Club and not themselves or their pockets or anything else. And I personally hope that that never changes.
Right, taking that into consideration then, Jack, and the fact that either a British league or a European league is bound to come, I feel, can Celtic got the income to keep at the top?
I don't know what the future is going to hold with regard to a British league, a European league, and there's much speculation about that. There is nothing firm about it at all. As far as we're concerned at the moment, we're competing in the Scottish Premier League, and in that league it is our intention always to be first, if possible. To take your thing further, if in fact something like a European league developed in the future, yes, we would like to think that we would be in there. We consider ourselves a big club. And clearly, if you go into a bigger league or if you go into a bigger pool or whatever you want to call it, the income, the revenue is greater as well. You know, it might well be that instead of us averaging 30,000, we could end up in a situation where we're averaging 50 and 60,000. Clearly that generates money, and I think it would generate enough for us to compete anywhere.
Jack McGinn, thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure.
Some interesting points there, Derek.
Yes, it is.
Shaw to Park. Thinking about a shot, and it's a goal! 2 goals in 2 minutes, and Hearts have taken a remarkable 2-0 lead. McGrain. Dalglish with the back header. Celtic pull one back. Ronnie McDonald. Craig to Dalglish. Beautiful pass to Doyle. Blocked. And Shaw controlling it, looking up, sees the man in the clear. Jim Brown's on the right, unmarked, and a big gap here. Gibson coming to the near post, Busby at the far post. So's Prentice. Gibson, a hat-trick! Now Lennox. Oh, a great chance this time! Glavin, absolutely non-stop play from both sides. Even the free kicks are taken quickly. McGrain. Still there, prepared to go, and he's on! Dalglish, it must be! 3 minutes remaining. Glavin. Dalglish trying to knock it back. It's Jeffries. And a chance for Dalglish, it's a tight angle, and Wilson makes the save! It won't go, no! Glavin scores! First time in the match, Celtic take the lead by 4 goals to 3.
Fraser did well.
The milk chocolate milk.
Hearts trying to battle back into a European spot, and of course looking for a boost for their trip to Germany in midweek when they face Bayern Munich in the Olympic Stadium on Tuesday evening. Ian Ferguson was the player who gave Hearts that lead in the first leg here at Tynecastle. Watching in the stand, the Scotland coach Andy Roxburgh, much more relaxed today than he perhaps was early on Wednesday evening. Mackay to Cahoon, the tackle came from Barnes. Free kick given instantly, and Coyne makes sure it's not taken quickly. Well, the referee is going to have a word now with John Cahoon for what a speech play. He was protesting about the fact he was denied the opportunity to take the quick free kick. So Dave McPherson has gone into the box for Hearts. So has Alan McLaren, joining Mike Galloway. Potent threat in the air now from Hearts. There's John Cahoon. Ferguson with a shot, breaks there for Galloway, and a brilliant save from Pat Bonner. Some uncertainty in the Celtic defence, but it was resolved by Bonner. Determined play by Hearts, the shot ricocheting away there, across to Galloway on the volley, and that's a brilliant stop by Bonner. Flick on from McGee to Walker. Coyne going through the middle with Grant. Walker trying the shot. Beaten away by Henry Smith for the corner kick. Randy Walker taking full advantage of the elements, the wind behind as he looked up for the shot from 25 yards. And Smith had to be quick, he couldn't hold it. That's a corner kick to Celtic. Again, Bannon wins it. There's Cahoon. The race between Bannon and Burns. The throw goes to Hearts. Quickly taken to Ferguson. In the middle is Galloway. He only has Morris to face. Celtic getting men back quickly though. Good defensive play from Celtic. Tommy Burns reacting quickly. Good play by Chris Morris. He's through his own now. Chance for Celtic. Well, such disappointment for Chris Morris. He did this all by himself. Challenging Ian Ferguson. Playing the 1-2 with Walker. Then sprinting through, getting the ball past Henry Smith. And it's just wide of the post. Tommy Craig on their feet in the Celtic dugout. Tommy Craig with some instructions. McPherson coming out. Here's Gary Mackay trying to release Cahoon. Good play by Cahoon. He's away from Burns. Aiken do the cross. And the clearance was by McCarthy. That was magnificent wing play there by John Cahoon. Showing strength, determination, courage and lots of skill. Hooking this back from Roy Aiken. And it was McCarthy who saved the day for Celtic. And a corner kick. Person challenging. Grant didn't get a hold of the ball. Berry did. Here's Cahoon again on the byline. And McCarthy had to get in there ahead of Dave McPherson to concede another corner kick. The Celtic for the moment are under siege. There's the header away by McCarthy. So Bannon with the in-swinger. Working out where the big men are, I think. There's Levine, McPherson, and it's off the crossbar from Ferguson. Once again, Pat Bonner is frustrated by his defenders. There was Levine, McPherson and Ferguson together. It came off the bar and is away for another corner. Well, can the Celtic defence survive this incredible onslaught from Hearts? There's Bannon, well taken by Bonner. Spotted it well at the near post. Well, the Celtic fans not getting a great deal to shout about at this stage of the match. McKinley. Headed on by Galloway for Cahoon. It's blocked by Bonner. Great goalkeeping by Pat Bonner again. How badly it was required by Celtic. A head flick on from Galloway. There was Cahoon, the ball bouncing awkwardly initially. The shot forcing Bonner to recover very quickly as Ferguson closed in. There's Morris sliding it in. Up goes McPherson. McGee is there. Good play by McGee and a good tackle by Levine. There's Morris, the chance for Coyne. Celtic's best chance of the match so far, falling to the new signing Tommy Coyne. Right in front of goal, didn't catch the shot properly. That's one for Cahoon to chase, but he has no prospect of reaching that before Bonner. Well, I'll be checking with both linesmen, and this really has been a superb first half performance from Hearts. They have dominated pretty well from the start, and they are indeed unlucky, I reckon, not to be in front. Celtic owe a great debt to Pat Bonner, who had one magnificent save from Mike Galloway on the volley. So he's the main reason why the score sheet remains blank at half-time. It's Hearts 0. So lots of food for thought at half-time for the Celtic manager, Billy McNeill. He must have been very concerned by the way Hearts dominated these early proceedings. And I've no doubt he'll have had some well-chosen words for his team during the interval. Alec MacDonald will be very happy, I think, with the first half performance, except for the fact that Hearts, for all their superiority, have not found the net. So the second half now underway. Hearts, who got a great welcome back from their fans in view of their excellent first 45 minutes. Well played by Walker. Will they start coming in at the far post? Here's McStay. Wallace trying to take that on the run, but McKinley anticipated the move. McPherson playing it away from McGee for yet another corner kick. Well, Celtic now putting some pressure on. Hearts may live to regret not taking advantage of the territorial advantage in the first half. Couldn't reach it. There's McGee trying to go all the way himself. Brilliant play from Mark McGee. Brings Billy McNeill to his feet and the Celtic fans celebrate in style. Well, this was vintage Mark McGee. The corner kick from McStay was too high for McCarthy and for Stark. Now just look at this play from Mark McGee. Crowded penalty area, sidestepping Alan McLaren. To slant the ball into the far corner. And the offside flag is up against Ian Ferguson. Here's McGee. He's away from McPherson. Still Mark McGee going to the box. Tangling there with Berry. Celtic looking for a foul, and it's not being given. Well, I wonder if Mark McGee, on reflection, may regret not taking the shooting chance after he got away from McPherson here, but determined to find a clear opening for the shot. The ball was out of reach when he went down in the challenge with Berry. Grant's back killer. That's a Hearts throw now. Peter Grant is aggrieved. The linesman gave it immediately. The referee will have a word with Peter Grant for that outburst of dissent. This is Cahoon. Trying to get away from Tommy Burns. He's managed that. And the ball carried over in the end. The deflection giving the corner kick though to Hearts. Some great wing play again from Cahoon. Just look at the way he finds his space to go past Tommy Burns. And it's behind for another corner. So John Cahoon looking up. Craig Levine, one of the big men in the box. Bonner taking that under pressure from Galloway. Good safe handling again from Pat Bonner. Berry. This is McKinley. Here's Mackay with space. Now Cahoon. Good effort that from Cahoon. Well taken by Bonner. Well, this is fascinating. The way you see Cahoon looking up to see the space. Taking the pass here from Mackay. Now just look at the way he looks up. Sees Bonner. Tries to flight that toward the top corner. But Bonner was there. Challenge there from Peter Grant, and a free kick's been given as Grant goes down. He was caught there. Alan McLaren and Gary Mackay look towards the Celtic player with not too much sympathy, it would appear. Well, there was the challenge which brought down Peter Grant. Celtic's free kick. Burns and McStay controlling traffic. Burns plays it. Walker to McStay. Absolutely magnificent. 13 minutes from the end. A carefully rehearsed set piece. And now the Hearts players directing the attention of the referee to the linesman. But what a great goal this was. Played to Andy Walker. Chipped into the gap for Paul McStay. Controlled superbly, then drilled past Henry Smith, and I really cannot see what the problem may have been there. There's the linesman Joe Price from Bellshill, chatting there with Kenny Hope. Tommy Craig and Billy McNeil waiting anxiously for the outcome. The referee waving the players away. Well, really, it was a magnificent piece of play from Celtic. And a long discussion between the two officials. All the players watching anxiously. And it looks as though free kick's been given. Well, let's try to find out the reason why. It certainly wasn't offside against McStay. He's all right in this position. McStay perfectly all right. And when the ball was played in, I can see nothing amiss with that goal at all. Well, Paul McStay denied there his 5th goal of the season for Celtic. And I really cannot say why that goal should have been chalked up. The referee now having to go back to the linesman. Well, now, what's the problem this time? It appears as though the Celtic fans have reacted rather badly towards the linesman. There may have been some missiles on the field, and the referee now talking to the police officers. Tommy Burns and Paul McStay and Billy Stark trying to tell the Celtic fans to calm down. And there's a police officer going across to have a word with Kenny Hope. Well, this is very sad indeed, because the Celtic fans reacting very badly to that decision, which came from linesman Joe Price. And really it was one which baffled us and certainly upset these Celtic fans. The offside flag is up. May have been 3 Heartsmen offside. McGee sets off in chase with Levine. Strong play by Mark McGee. Here's McGee again. He really is incredibly powerful, running the ball at his feet. He thinks there should have been an infringement or perhaps a corner kick. Strong there, challenging Levine, then turning on the ball, coming inside, looking for the shooting chance, sidestepping another challenge, and then the shot, which may have been deflected, goes wide. And there goes the final whistle. Celtic the winners, and that really, for my money, is justice in the second half performance, because that second goal by Paul McStay, which was chalked off, appeared to be perfectly good from this angle, although linesman Joe Price disagreed. But in the end, that had no bearing on the final result. So the Celtic Championship challenge is still on. It's Hearts 0, Celtic.
2 important points. What was your reaction to the match?
Well, the points were very, very important, Jock. I felt we were very, very tentative at the start. I think Hearts were that bit tentative too. But over the piece, I felt the longer the game went, the better and the more composed we became. We scored a very good goal. Might have been 2. But at the end of the day, I never really thought that Hearts were going to come back into it, because our back 4 played very, very well today. And I think Packy took time off to give an exhibition save or 2.
He was quite important in the first half when you were under a bit of pressure. He made some very good saves in that period, didn't he?
That's right. He had some very, very good saves. He's a good goalkeeper. I said a thing last week, and it's perhaps given him a challenge. I said I hadn't quite thought he was back to his best. I think today he proved me wrong.
Now, you got the goal early in the second half, and from that point you did appear to get stronger. But you had that controversial moment late on. I know you can't say anything to get yourself into any, but it was obviously a rehearsed move that brought the goal about.
Well, that's the frustrating thing about football, that you work on things and we executed what we thought was a perfectly good free kick. It got disallowed, you know.
With the results today and elsewhere in the league, you feel Celtic still have a realistic chance in the league?
Joe, I don't know another result. I wasn't caring about any other result today. Yes, we can still put pressure on the teams above us. We've got to play the 3 teams above us between now and the end of the season. Anything can happen in football.
Headed away by a combination of Irvin and Hillhouse. Back with Aiken. Good header inside by Hewitt. This is McLeish. Forcing the ball forward. Back now to Mason. Good running by McKimmie. The ball intended for Nicholas. He's won it from White. Nicholas trying to play that into the gap for Paul Mason, but Mason had stayed square. Good start from Nicholas. Here's John Hewitt. Brian Grant intercepts. There's Irvin. White coming forward. Jakinovsky on the left. Walker waits in the middle. Jakinovsky trying to hit the byline. Alec McLeish was in the way. Check. Jakinovsky. That's towards Chris Morris. Fine header inside. A clash in the middle between Robertson and Walker. Celtic looking for a penalty kick in vain. And there's a challenge made by Paul Elliott on Paul Mason, and there will be trouble for the Celtic number 5. Well, what hectic action here at Celtic Park. A fine ball played in here. The header by Chris Morris. Walker and Robertson collide as Snelders makes the save. David Robertson was the player Celtic thought had committed an infringement inside the box. But it's Paul Elliott who is the first player in the match to be shown the yellow card. A foul on Paul Mason, who was breaking clear on the left. Well, Mason sprinting away on that breakaway for Aberdeen. Caught by Elliott, sent spinning, and a booking for Elliott. There's Aiken. Walker's layoff finds Grant. Hewitt available on the left, supported by Dovcek. That's for Morris, who's in the clear. Great play from Celtic. Morris again. And a fine save by Theo Snelders from Walker's header. Fine play from Celtic. The pass was from Dovcek, the control from Chris Morris. Had this across at the second attempt. Walker trying to get power into the header, but Snelders was there. Misunderstanding there among the Celtic players. Nicholas to Hillhouse. The great ball to Mason. Bett is going on the right. It's well timed. Back to Mason. Inches wide. Superbly set up by Aberdeen. Sweeping move from the middle of the field. Set up initially by Hillhouse, then Mason to Bett for the turn, and just going past the far post. Billy McNeil on the telephone from the director's box to the dugout. Irvin's header. Walker made a good run for Dovcek's throw. Free kick given against Irvin. They'll have to be careful. He's had 1 or 2 fouls given against them in the first half so far. Andy Walker has been the usual victim. Elliott signalling frantically for this free kick. Dovcek takes it. There goes Elliott! A fine effort by Paul Elliott, looking for his first ever goal for Celtic. He judged the bounce very well indeed, better than McLeish. Snelders had the near post area covered, it just slid past the post. Now McKimmie. Brian Grant trying a long pass, stopped by McStay. Here a chance for Celtic, 3 against 3. John Hewitt breaking on the left, Connor going across. There the ball played in, there was McLeish. Back with McStay. That's for Andy Walker. Agonisingly wide, but the flag was up for offside. Well, frustration there for Andy Walker. John Hewitt making that good break. McLeish blocked the cross. Grant and McStay working the ball back through that tight gap for Andy Walker. The flag was up at that point. Snelders was beaten, but the ball was wide. He's back now with Connor. Gets the ball at the second attempt, but Derek White collects for Celtic. And here's Morris now in the break, the closing minute of the first half. What it would be for either side if they could open the scoring before the interval. Here's Paul Elliott. Dovcek calling for the ball on the far side. Now Hewitt going inside. Hustled out of that by Mason. Here's Hillhouse looking for Charlie Nicholas over on the far side. What a great ball that was. Nicholas now looking up for support. Hillhouse calls for the ball. Still Nicholas. Back with Grant. And that's just inches wide. It was turned away by Bonner. Magnificent play there from Aberdeen, inspired by Hans Hillhouse. Look at that pass over to the far side to Charlie Nicholas. Nicholas biding his time, waiting for support to arrive in the middle, then setting this up for Brian Grant. And what an excellent save that was from Bonner. Well, if Celtic opened the first half in a very brisk, impressive fashion, it's Aberdeen who are ending the first period looking full of quality. Beck with a corner kick. Beautifully taken by Bonner. About a minute of time added on in the first half for stoppages as Derek Robertson wins that high ball, and there was an elbow used by Andy Walker in the challenge. It's a free kick to Aberdeen. May indeed be the last effort of the first half. The referee checking time with his linesman. So it's taken short there by McLeish to Bet. Here's David Robertson. Easily stopped there by White. Goes Irvin. White again. Mason nudging that away from John Hewitt, and that's the end of a fascinating first half. Still no scoring, but some outstanding play from both sides. Celtic making the brisker start, but Aberdeen then set. The first half provided an intriguing contest here at Celtic Park, and the big crowd looking forward to the same again in the second period. Jaganowski timing that well, touch it on. There's Peter Grant. Foul against Brian Irvin for the challenge on Andy Walker. Irvin has found Walker a very awkward customer indeed. And the next day over the free kick. Waiting for Paul Elliott to get into the box. Headed out by McLeish. There's Mason. Now Nicholas. Under pressure instantly from Dovcek. Peter Grant playing the ball through. There's Alec McLeish sliding in there to beat Andy Walker to the ball. Well, that could have been dangerous for Aberdeen. Well, here's Charlie Nicholas. Bet making a run. He's away from Dovcek. Good play by Bet. Angling it across. Well, brilliant piece of play again from Aberdeen. Paul Mason couldn't control the finishing effort. But Nicholas waiting that pass into the path of Jim Bett. The angle cross beyond Bonner, and Mason lasts it over. Grant's pass finds Hewitt. McKimmie sticking to his task, making sure he didn't give Hewitt a clear run at the byline. It's back now with Dovcek. Peter Grant calls for the ball. He has space now to come forward. Shot was blocked by Irvin. Here's Chris Morris. Robertson did well with that challenge. Away by McKimmie to Jaganowski. Appeals for handball, waved aside by the referee. Ball driven in there by Jakinovski. Here's Jakinovski again. And that was perhaps the best chance so far for Celtic. As he controlled the ball in the box and drove it towards goal, and it came off an Aberdeen body. They claimed it was an arm which blocked it. The referee decided in any event the ball had played the man. Then Jakinovski had that terrific chance from an angle ball to take it on the volley, and he couldn't get full power and accuracy into the effort which Snelders saved. So the referee has allowed time for treatment for Roy Aitken, and now the corner kick can be taken by Celtic. Hewitt playing it into the near post. It's helped on by Dovcek. Cleared off the line by Irvin. Well, life again for Aberdeen, but some faint appeals for handball, but I think clearly this will be shown to be a fair block on the line by Brian Irvin. But still Celtic trying to get forward. Walker turns it across. That was handball. That is a penalty kick. A moment of sheer folly by David Robertson. Well, what was he thinking about? Clearly believed that Andy Walker wasn't going to pull that back, but the ball going to safety. The young fullback, David Robertson, who's played so well, guilty of handball. The penalty kick will be taken by Andy Walker. Now, his record is anything but impeccable this season. He's scored only 2 out of 4 attempts. Theo Snelders, on the other hand, has not managed to stop either of the penalties he's faced so far this season. So a tense moment here at Celtic Park. Andy Walker against Theo Snelders. No mistake by Walker. 64 minutes gone. Andy Walker's penalty kick drilled into the corner, well away from the diving Theo Snelders. The keeper hadn't an earthly, and Celtic are ahead. Andy Walker's 4th goal of the season. He's been in and out of the side, and that will do his confidence the world of good. And also presents Aberdeen with a major task ahead. Oh, what a moment for young David Robertson. Needless handball, giving Celtic the penalty. So a free kick given against Walker for the challenge on Grant. Well, David Robertson will be very anxious to see Aberdeen hit back. There's the Aberdeen bench, jockey Scott Wright in the middle. He has Willem van der Ark and Craig Robertson available. Alex Smith has come down from the director's box. Misjudged by McKimmie. Here's Hewitt. Well, Hewitt spotting the opportunity to have the shot at goal. An alteration now being made by Aberdeen. Number 7 means Charlie Nicholas, and 14 is Willem van der Ark. Well, off goes Nicholas. He's had a very tough time against his former club. Just 1 or 2 glimpses of class from Nicholas, but now it's van der Ark who provides a different kind of threat to the Celtic defence. Powerful in the air. Touchdown to Jakinovski. Here's Walker to Hewitt. Celtic looking for the second goal, which would surely guarantee the points. Here's Hewitt. What a good header by Jakinovski, carefully watched by Snelders. Well, John Hewitt can be pleased with his contribution to the Celtic effort this afternoon. Does well here against McKimmie, who's a very difficult fullback to pass, sending over the cross for Jakinovski's near post header. Now Hewitt. Van der Ark. Immediately in trouble. Dovcek. Good tackle by Irvin. Mason using McKinney at the back. This is Van der Ark. Trying to hold White at bay. A tackle from the back by Dovcek. And Celtic alone with 10 men. Andy Walker is down inside the Aberdeen penalty area. He's had 1 or 2 injuries in the match, and it looks as though this is one he will not recover from this afternoon. So it came when Hewitt sent this ball over. It was won by David Robertson. It appears to be the way Walker landed which caused them the problem. Kimmy with a free kick for Aberdeen. He's going there with Aiken. Clearance is made by Morris. Irvin going in strongly behind Dragonovsky. Here's Bet. Kimmy this time looking for Connor. The intercepting player was Elliott. Morris to McStay. Picking out Hewitt on the left. Dovcek going in support, outside Hewitt, providing a decoy. Giving out to Mason. Dovcek's well out of the play for Celtic. But it doesn't matter if possession is given away so easily. Bet now towards Hillhouse. Testing the pace of Elliott. Here's Hillhouse into the box now, a chance for Aberdeen. Brought down by Elliott. That is a penalty kick. Tackle from the back as Hillhouse was in the act of shooting. Just watch the Dutchman here as he takes on Elliott, nudges the ball beyond them, sprints into the penalty area. He has Van der Ark waiting in the middle, looking up, and then is taken out by Elliott. A clear penalty kick. And it's Billy McNeill coming down to the dugout. As this penalty kick is about to be taken, it'll be taken by Hans Hillhouse. Back on his feet after the injury. I wonder if it's wise to give the penalty to the man who was injured so recently. But here's Hillhouse against Bonner. And that was a brilliant save from Bonner. Hillhouse is on his knees, going up with confidence. Bonner flying to his right as Hillhouse hits the deck. Well, Hans Hillhouse, having had such a wonderful start to his career at Aberdeen, for the moment wishes the ground would open up and swallow him. The noise you hear coming, of course, from the Celtic fans, the celebration of their goalkeeper, Pat Bonner. And now there will be a change made by Celtic. They're taking off Andy Walker, who's been in the war so often this afternoon. The replacement is Mike Galloway. Aberdeen come forward again. Robertson to Mason. That's for Van der Ark. Derek White's the covering player. Good play by Van der Ark. Headed away by Elliott. Van der Ark going up again. And a goal kick is given. Van der Ark hoping for a corner kick. Good play this by the tall striker. Turning inside Derek White, looking up, playing in the cross. May have been a push there by Hillhouse and Aiken, but Elliott won it in any event. Morris goes down. He was caught there by Hillhouse. Willie McNeill and Tommy Craig irate about the challenge made by Hillhouse on Morris. And the Celtic number 2 certainly appears to be in a lot of pain. Well, the ball was certainly bouncing awkwardly as it went across here. There was Hillhouse going with Morris, who was getting to the ball first. Hillhouse putting his foot up just as Morris was in the act of playing the ball forward. Now McKimmie is free on the near side. The referee checking with his watch, and there goes the final whistle. Celtic are the winners thanks to the penalty goal scored by Andy Walker in 64 minutes. And also to the magnificent save made by Pat Bonner from the Hans Hillhouse penalty kick 9 minutes from the end. The final score in Celtic Park, Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0.
Billy, how do you rate that performance?
Well, I think more importantly, Jock, the win was the thing. Certainly, I felt we won in a better style. 1 goal difference between us at the end of the day, but I felt we were value a bit more. And in many ways, we've got to thank Packy Boner at the end for saving a penalty, but I think that would have been a complete injustice to those lads there.
You use a new left side of your team with Dovcek and Hewitt. That seemed to come off very well. Are you pleased with that?
Yes. John looked like himself again, John Hewitt. It's taken him a long time to get into the swing of things. He had the injury when he came here, but he's a talented player. He's also a very experienced player.
The other thing of great interest, of course, was the reception from the Celtic fans for Roy Aitken. Do you think that may affect his attitude to the future?
Well, I certainly hope so, Jock. He knows I've laid my feelings clear to him that I'm going to keep biting away at him. I've invited offers, but really there would need to be something exceptional before I would really want to part. I know Roy's feelings and I appreciate and respect his feelings, but I'll keep biting away at him, and I'm hoping that one day I'll win.
Well, a happy Billy McNeil and a fascinating match for the former Partick Thistle, Hibs and Hamilton manager and Lisbon Lion Bertie all to analyse. Bertie, did you think Celtic deserved the win?
On their second half performance, it was a good game, and I think Billy was right saying what he said there, that the most important thing was the 2 points, because they looked relieved at the finish of the game. I thought it was a good game.
Bobby Smith, the scorer of the only goal of the game so far, and that's a great ball. McGee putting a bit of pressure, and that's a penalty. And it's now left to Peter Latchford. However, McLeod, Polish man inside Easter Road, places it superbly.
Again dispossessed. McLeod.
Of the BBC's sports personality.